Hello, everyone. How are you all? Welcome to the iBashers Part 3. We don't have a Dirk yet, but he's coming. I promise. Running a little behind schedule. How are you all? How's everyone? I feel like I've just done this because I actually have. Did a 2-hour thing last night for the channel, for the Timeless Watch channel. This one is going out on the Timeless Watch channel, but it won't be up there after the fact. It's just to bring you guys all over to the iBashers channel. I should really leave a link, shouldn't I? Let me put one in for that channel so you can subscribe over there. This is where we talk about things that are not watch related. And just kind of shoot the shit about what's on. You know, when you think about it, some of the stuff on the channel was not watch related and was some of the more popular stuff. I still to this day get messages from people saying that they came over to the channel during the lockdown, the heavy lockdown, because I was racing around the streets of Vicenza when they were empty and avoiding the police, avoiding getting arrested, actually, quite honestly. There's the link for the iBashers, guys. It's in the chat there. That had nothing to do with watches. You know, I was trying to run around and give homeless people money because when there were no people on the streets to beg from, what the hell did the homeless people do? And I was showing people what the new reality is like. It's kind of weird. It seems like 1,000 centuries ago now because everybody knows what that's like. Everybody knows what it feels like to go down an empty street that's normally crowded and get in line outside a supermarket where they're only letting 2 or 3 people in at a time and things like that. But we were the first to go through all of that in the Western world, at least. Italy was hit hard, remember? That was the first. It was all over the news. It was only a matter of time before it hit everywhere else. So I was supposed to talk about some like current events and things, but I usually have my boy with me here, but he was supposed to be ready by now, but he's running behind time. Okay. David Williams says Slancha Oshin and all. You should have put et al, right? That's a nice and all. Et al. Yeah, exactly. Amish Ninja Master. Avoiding the police during the lockdowns. Yeah. Justin Bailey. iBashers on one screen. Fury fight on the other. Sound is up on the iBashers. Okay, that works. You have an iBasher right now, not iBashers, but I hope it'll work anyway. It's Saturday night, guys. Is everybody having a drink? Or it's Saturday early evening if you're on the East Coast. And it's bloody lunchtime if you're on the West Coast. I just got off the phone with a friend. I think I had just a falling out with a good friend. 20 minutes ago. I'm like, oh shit, I got to get on bloody live stream now after that happened. That was awful. What an awful thing. People are strange creatures. But I should know that by now, shouldn't I? I do know that by now. I read somewhere recently that as you get older, you lose your eyesight slowly, which I am. For nearsighted things, I need to use these glasses. So you lose your eyesight, but you gain better eyesight to see through people's bullshit. And I think that that's true. You can't see them as clearly, but you can see their bullshit way clearer. It's amazing. The card, not another French girl, an Irish girl, actually. Honestly, I don't want to get into it. It's okay. It's just a shame because it's like people are, pride is the real enemy here. People don't want to. I don't know. I'm not going to get into it. But whatever. Maybe it'll be fine in the end. Who knows? We'll see. Just very sad when you think a person has that solid character, that fucking pristine diamond in the rough kind of personality and character and content and substance, and then you kind of just realize, no, actually everyone's a bit of a bullshitter and everybody's a bit of a deceiver. And I love that show House MD with Hugh Laurie, who I grew up watching. A little bit of Fry and Laurie. Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie, they're comedians. If you grew up in England, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you grew up in the United States, you have no idea. And you've probably, the first time you ever laid eyes on Hugh Laurie was in his character as that high-level doctor in House MD. He doesn't have that accent at all. He doesn't speak that way at all. He's got a very British accent. He's a great actor. But I love the character in that. Every time I watch that show, I'm like, oh shit, that's me. He's me. Shit. He's me a little ahead of me. He's like 10 years ahead of me. Everybody lies. Everybody's a shithead. You just have to figure it out, A little bit of Fry and Laurie, exactly, Hans. Stephen Fry, what a brilliant intellectual, amazing man, and celibate, actually. Strange thing to decide to be in this day and age. Let me see how many people we have in. 166. I think the lads are probably broadcasting from Vegas, right? All the guys went over. Paul Thorpe, etc. So you're probably, some of you guys or your friends are over there watching that. Yes, Hans, Hugh Laurie plays guitar and piano. Look up his song, Mystery. It's a really funny song. What was I going to talk about tonight? I was going to talk about the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp thing. Oh boy, what a really bad moment for me to talk about female integrity. Look, I think everybody knows. I think it's pretty clear to the world that Amber is the toxic one, isn't it? No? Is there a pro Amber crowd out there? Because I haven't seen much of them. I've only seen the Johnny Depp side, and that might be my fault, because as it happens in the world at the moment, people are, whatever you believe in is then fortified. It used to be that, like, if you lived in a little town and your father was in the Ku Klux Klan and your mom was too, and your brothers and your cousin, you were probably going to be too. You were conditioned by the people around you, and anybody who came along and told you that may not be a good idea was foreign and strange, and you had to go, no, go away. So you kind of, there's a term for it. There's actually a psychological term for it, where you have to believe the things that everybody else around you believes. Otherwise, your life doesn't make any sense. Otherwise, jump off a bridge. So a lot of people in their political opinions quite often are like that. They're so hell-bent and they have to believe in the thing, they could be right-wing, they could be left-wing, whatever. But any foreign information, they need to be told, no, that's just the enemy trying to trick you. They need to be told that in their ear. I think that news stations have profiteered off of that exact phenomena. And but nowadays they target information. So if you believe a certain thing, it starts targeting you and giving you all more information until you're probably your news feed, be it on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, is probably just inundated with information that corroborates your idea, that just goes along with whatever you think, just fills in all of those spaces until any foreign information you do come across just seems so absurd, because how could it be? Because you've just heard the same thing over and over. I had a girlfriend years ago, came from California, lived with me in New York, and I'm I would call myself progressive, and left. And she was exposed to probably very, very new information between myself and my friends and so on, and probably became a tad bit more progressive just because of that exposure. And then she went back to California, and the last time I spoke to her, it was all the way back there. I don't even think she's convinced the election was rigged and stuff like that. It's like, oy vey, you're back there again, because everyone around you is saying that stuff, and then you go online and then you get that information. So I'm thinking maybe because I tend to side with Johnny Depp on this. I don't think he's 100% innocent. I think he's not the Johnny Depp we once knew, but he's something similar. He probably, I should say, I'm being lured in by that information. So I'm probably only seeing pro Johnny Depp stuff and not seeing any of the "we stand with Amber, he's an abuser" crowd or whatever. If there is one, I assume there is one. If anybody wants to enlighten me on that, they can. What do I think? I mean, she's pretty crazy, man. The only damning evidence on his side is that famous video she took of him drinking wine at noon or whatever it was. That's never a good sign. Johnny, don't drink wine at noon, man. Don't do that. Slamming doors and stuff. I think his mother had died a few days earlier. So he was probably not in a good place in his head. And he realized that he had left his very caring and supportive wife, Vanessa Paradis, for this admittedly stunning, let's face it, Amber Heard may be many things, but she is one of the most stunning creatures that has ever walked the earth. That is a beautiful woman, for sure. Physically, I mean, only. He left his wife for this woman, and now found himself in this, then discover. I was talking about it last night. Relationships. You meet the first person, and that lasts for a few months, and then you meet the second person, then you find out really what you've got, ahead of you. So, yeah, I don't know. Apparently, she took a dump in his bed. Oh my God. Although, who are we to believe? Here we are again, There's a couple of lewd comments in here, and they're getting automatically filtered by YouTube. Good job, YouTube. Like, how can YouTube understand? I'm going to read this, okay? This guy said, if I had to choose between Johnny and Amber, I'm not going to show it. If I had to choose between Johnny and Amber, I'd have to come down on the side of Amber. He. I fill in the Beavis and Butthead, like right there, Hurrah! Badoom tish! What a hilarious joke. But I love how YouTube is able to figure out the innuendo there. It's able to figure out like his play with words. Look at you, YouTube, all grown up, tits and all. Amazing. What am I drinking? Though, there's a good question. Neil Sengupta. I was just having some white wine with dinner. Then I had a phone call with my, I don't know what to call that person anymore, strange friend. And I'm actually going to move over to something a little new for the channel tonight, because I was going through the city earlier and it was packed and I had to get out of there. But I passed by a store that has sake. And I love sake, or sake, as they say here. I'm actually a big fan of sake. And I think one of the other channels was mentioning sake recently. I like all sorts of sake. I'm not a super expert, but like I like floral, I like dry, I like sweet. And one of the reasons why I like dry is because you can drink it either very cold or really, really piping hot, where the steam is coming off it. And it's quite medicinal. It's really, really nice. In those cold New York months, having sushi was always an option. Ramen is the best in the freezing cold New York days. Ramen it'll heat your soul. But yeah, sake is, sushi is an option because there's sake and you can just get lots of piping hot sake down you, and it heats you up and it gets you all rosy cheeked at the same time. I quite enjoy it. You can spend a lot of money on sake, but I just got some cheap sake. What is it? I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what the brand is. Jikekan. It's cheap. I actually don't mind cheap sake. This is one of the weird things. Sometimes the cheap sake is easier to drink. Isn't that weird? But I love the overall aroma of sake. It's lovely. It's a beautiful thing. Luke, do you ever think you live in NYC again? I do have to go back. I have a computer store based out of there, an online computer store based out of New York City. It's laid a bit dormant, actually, to be honest, in the past months. But I do want to get back. I'll always feel a little bit New Yorkish, New Yorkies. Once you're there for, very few people are actually from New York City or New York area who are in New York. A lot of the people in New York came from elsewhere, elsewhere in America, because they want to hit the big time, or elsewhere in the world. Actors, models, businessmen, etc. And refugees, etc. But they say that to call yourself a true New Yorker, you have to, I think you need 12 years. Some say 15, some say 12. Then you're a true New Yorker. You know New York inside and out. You can walk the streets with your eyes closed, practically. You come out of a subway station and you know north, south, east, and west. You feel it. You sense it. You don't even need to look around and, recalibrate and know where the Trade Center is versus the, Empire State or whatever. So I was there for 20, so I think I qualify. You certainly get into the vibe of, going to different bars, different places, meeting up with different people, finding your favorite restaurants for various different cuisines, happens. I'm sure I'll be back at some point, yeah. Should have been back there many times already, but hasn't happened. Versace Boy 54, hello from Staten Island, man. Staten Island. I dated a girl from Staten Island for a few years. On and off. The most stunning thing you've ever seen. My God. Not a model. but totally blew the shit out of any model I've ever seen. Unbelievable. Little wild, bit of a wild girl. And I always considered Staten Island to be the Texas of New York. You know, they all voted for Trump, the entire of the island. The rest of New York couldn't stand him or have anything to do with him. Maybe some of Long Island, you know, out there where things get very white and, you know, cops and things like that. But Staten Island, wow, totally different universe over there. But I always said about that girl, she was the kind of girl that is a little wild, but you know, if you showed up on her doorstep with a knife in your hand full of blood, she'd take you straight in, you know, wash the knife off, put it in with her own cutlery in the house, and if the cops came by, she'd say she hasn't seen you in weeks. You know, that's the Staten Island girl. She's street smart, man. She's fucking hardcore street girl. Kind of cool. And I went out, finally. I've been in Staten Island very briefly in different moments, but I went out there. Her father passed away and I had to go out to the funeral, and it was such a Italo-American experience. And yeah, a lot of Italian last names and Serbian last names and stuff. Great people. But you see these huge mansions and stuff. They kind of live in a different reality over there. Great to have someone from Staten Island watching. I think I got a super chat. Let me go back and find it. The Chili Badger. I'm an early drinker. Gives you more time to eat and sober up and sleep before you repeat it the next day. I know. When I do these late night things, there's a bit of drinking just to kind of get into the vibe. Then afterwards, I might make food. Last night, I was on the phone with a girl, actually, come to think of it. And we were up talking till all hours. Isn't it a wonderful thing? You're chatting with a pretty girl on the phone and making food in the middle of the night. Great stuff. Daniel Katz, verdict by judge. Both some help. I don't know what you mean. Do you want to rewrite that, Daniel? Be careful, guys, if you're doing super chats. Try to type stuff correctly, because I don't know if I can read through the odd typos, especially not today. Orlando, thank you for the super chat. What about the Omega CK859? Omega have been doing a lot, right? I only have eyes for the CK2915 things like that, the old stuff. But yeah, I don't know how to feel about Omega these days. I just saw a smaller channel, a girl actually. Now I can't even think of her name, and I could have promoted her. I'll promote her on a real show, like a actual content soon. Give her a shove, give her a push. Why not? And she was just shitting all over that new Swatch Omega thing. And it was really cool, actually. She was absolutely right. Like, why did they put Omega all over the watch? It's not sold by Omega. It's not made by Omega. It's made by Swatch. It's a Swatch Speedmaster. But Omega is on the dial. It's written in big on the strap. What the hell are they thinking? And that's really that's kind of the the keystone of their error, you know? That's where they really messed up. Had it been a Swatch Omega, joint venture, and it said Swatch instead of Omega, Swatch Speedmaster, and Swatch all over the band, all over the bracelet, then it wouldn't have tarnished Omega in any way. There probably would have been less chaos over it. Let's face it, the reason why there's chaos is because people thought they were getting an Omega Speedmaster, an alternate version, but still one, for $250. Who wouldn't want that, right? There's loads of TikToks all over the internet. People saying, oh my God, you can get a $7,000 watch for $250. No, you fucking can't. Absolutely not. Anyway, I think that was their big mistake. It's not an Omega product. It's a Swatch product. And you can't tell, other than the word moon swatch, which is smaller, you can't tell looking at the watch. That's where they really messed up. So I commend you, whoever you are. I can't remember her name. I'll promote her soon. And everybody should subscribe. Let's do it now. How many have we got on there? We've got 237. Let's find her. I think her video is called Omega Bite Me. No, or that's in her. That must be just in her thumbnail. If anybody knows who I'm talking about, send me a link or let me know. I'm always about promoting smaller channels, especially girls. It's great to get diversity into this room. Neil Sangupta, love your channel. What's your favorite cigar? Been asked that many times. I think Cohiba's probably come in at the top. I'll smoke a Partagas. I'll smoke a Monty. I'll smoke a lot of stuff. Lots of different stuff. But I think Cohiba's, just as a go-to, it's always going to work. They're a bit more expensive, even more than Monty's. But I think they're solid. Which one? I mean, there's a long list. We'll be here all night. In Partagas, I love the Maduro 1 and the Maduro 2. Can't even think right now. Anyway. Thanks for the question, man. Sorry, I didn't really answer it comprehensively. I'm going to do an episode on cigars soon. I'll go see Smoking Moses. We'll sit down. We'll discuss cigars. It'll be great. Kieran Kelly, guitarist, €5. 12 years, question mark. We built a lovely house in the countryside in Galway 20 years ago. Still blow-ins. So the windows blow in? It's Galway. What are you going to do? Really enjoyed last night, slurping away here. God bless you, man. Galway. How's Galway right now? Sounds like a lovely place to go. I have to go to Ireland soon, so maybe I'll take a trip over to Galway. A lovely town. Great pubs. My God, the pubs are amazing. Great selection of whiskeys. I love how in Ireland, like, the different whiskeys are so cheap. Like, one is, you get like an 18-year-old and it's €7 or €8 a glass. And then there's the 25-year-old and it's €8.20. It's like, there's 20 cents in the difference. What am I going to do? Of course I'm going to take the older one. So funny that they calculate it down to the very last cent. So funny. Orlando, 5 Swiss francs. Thank you. CK859 has been re-edited last month. Watch Omega website. Yeah, I'm aware of it. Yeah, I'm aware of the watch. Do I have big thoughts about it? Not yet. No. Quite often, I like to get these watches in my hands first, There you go, Elizabeth Grant. Let me find her. Let's give her a push. Because why not? Oh, there. Why I love Oris. So there she is. She's got 700 subs. Let's push her to 1,000 tonight. Give her a nice little surprise. I've never met the girl. I have no idea who she is, but she has a watch channel, and I'm all about that. Yeah, her latest one is yesterday. It's got a 1,400 views. She's a bit of a cynical girl, you can tell, but it's probably for the best. We need a little bit of that too. And she bloody hates that watch. Good for her. So it's Elizabeth Grant, Grant. The Swatch and Omega Moon Swatch is just awful, is the name of the video. Why not? Go check her out. Open a new window there. Give her a sub. Why not? If you hate it later, you can unsub. What does it cost you? Nothing, right? Give her a sub. As it happens, it's a pretty cool video, and she makes some very strong points. And she might be the only person who really outlined that. Like, what are you doing? This is not an Omega product. Very good point. It's a Swatch product. Why is Omega plastered all over the bloody thing? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Thank you, guys, whoever sent that. Lloyd 3068 and all et al. Yeah. Here's Kieran again. Oisin, blow in is an expression for you'll never be one of us unless you were here for 50 years. Oh, I see. Is that what it is? Okay. I don't know. That's like west of Ireland shit that I don't know. Yeah, 12-year acceptance. I think it's 12 or 15, depending on who you're speaking to in New York. Shit, if you need to do 50 years, then that's your entire life practically, right? Entire waking life, at least. David Williams, $5. Enjoyed the Maloof Breeze story on a prior Q&A. Oh, yeah. Breeze, the dancer, the girl in Vegas. And the Maloof brothers who own the Palms hotels. Yeah, I know. Isn't it a funny story? Grand Seiko on the wrist, Sluncha et al. There you go, from the American West. Thank you, man. Thank you, David. Yeah, that was wild. Back in the rock and roll days. Yeah, they owned the hotel and we were their guests for that evening. And we're all given a bottle of champagne and a girl each. It was like, oh, God. I have a girlfriend. I'm a good boy. And one of the crew is my girlfriend's brother. So does that too. Disaster. Good old Saki. Yes. Yeah, it was a good story, wasn't it? Crazy shit, man. That was mad. We turned down Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis was having a party in Mandalay Bay, and we stood him up. Can you believe that? When was the last time you stood up Bruce Willis or any big Hollywood star? We're like, yeah, we're not coming to your party. We got better shit to do. Stupid. There you go. Attaboy. Photo Dave Jacks. Just subscribe to Elizabeth's channel. I haven't watched any of her other videos. Maybe she's not that good. I don't know. She probably is, though, from the looks of it. So it's probably worth doing. And again, it's not costing you anything. You can always unsubscribe if she really pisses you off or something. Like, really, what is it? Come on. Elizabeth Grant, let's go. Let's bring another female into the... How many do we have now? We have Jenny, of course. We have Watch Gringa. We have Beth T. We have Kelly. There were one or two others. Who else do we have? Girls. Oh yeah, there's the girl who does the 60 seconds. Hey, let's find her. Come on, I'm on a crusade now, promoting the women of Watch YouTube. The 60-second watch reviews. She's British. What's her name? She doesn't come up. See, people have to know how they're going to be searched for. I'm probably no good at this too. Do people search for me going, who's that guy, that scruffy looking Irish guy who's drinking all the time and he talks about, and they type in scruffy Irish guy in Venice, and I probably don't come up. I should probably go in and do some search engine optimization for that, because there are probably people looking for me right now going, that guy had an interesting point and I can't find him now, because they don't know that it's the timeless watch on is, blah, blah, blah. Search engine optimization. If anybody knows who I'm talking about, she's got 60-second watch reviews. She's British. No, not Blondie, Scotty Clark. There you go. Just subbed. Kieran says Jenny L's video tonight was absolutely epic. So funny. Really? I mean, no offense to Jenny. She's lovely and a great channel. But funny? That'll be a first for me. Humorous, yes. Funny. Funny is an odd art. But shit, maybe it's happening. Maybe it turns out she's like the first German person with an advanced sense of humor. Sorry, Germany, but it's like, you're not famous for it. Come on, let's be honest. You're famous for many other great things. Great things. Everybody has their forte. It's the Animal Farm, Monkeys are great at climbing trees, and horses are great at running in the straight direction. And, we all have different skills, right? The Irish can tell a story. The Jewish are hilariously funny. They're the best comedians. The Japanese are precise. We all have our things. Rock and roll is British and American. That's great. It's a big family. It's like in Star Wars, you've got the thinker, the Obi-Wan Kenobi characters, the thinker, the analyst. You've got the feeler, who's Luke Skywalker, trusts his feelings, his heart. You've got the mover, the heavy mover guy who gets things done. That's Han Solo. You've got the prissy, oversensitive robot C-3PO. It's a combo of all these things coming together. This is the world we love, right? Are the Germans particularly funny people? I don't know. I've yet to find one with an incredible sense of humor. God bless them. But maybe it is. I'm going to watch it later now. I'm excited to laugh my ass off. Secret skills coming out, Jenny. Le Carre, Giorgia Mondani has quite a good channel. If you like, oh yeah, of course, there's Georgia. Now, Georgia, she represents the Mondani people, so I guess I could give her a plug. I mean, Georgia, does she need any introduction? Like, she represents Mondani Group. They're like the most powerful watch group in the world. I've actually spoken to Georgia. I'm due to go out there at some point. We just need to set a date. I'm going to go out and see her in Genoa and see her office and stuff. Do a little bit of a collab. Yeah, I guess you could check her channel out too. Can't hurt. Hans says, to be fair, Oshin, Henning Venn is funny. Check him out. Okay, I'll check him out. I have no idea who that is. When I go for comedy, I go for either British, Australian, or American. Great stand-up comedians. That's an interesting thing here in Italy. There's not much stand-up comedy. It doesn't really exist here in Italy. Strangely. Very little of it. There's performance comedy, stage stuff, kind of Laurel and Hardy kind of situations, the fool, the idiot, and the other guy going, rolling his eyes, the old-fashioned shit. But they don't have as much stand-up. After 20 years in New York, how much stand-up have I seen? All those great comedy sellers and all those places where, Chris Rock and Louis C.K. and Bill Burr and everybody got their start. Bill Hicks, one of the greats, probably my favorite. The great Bill Hicks. Did I miss a super chat here? I got to check because I got some criticism from last night going, do you not read your super chats? And I tried. I thought I was being very diligent. There you go. There's another Bill Hicks fan. Hans. R.I.P. Bill Hicks. That was 1993, I think he died. Pancreatic cancer. There are those who say he was killed, like someone poisoned him or something, or they gave him something that would, a carcinogen, that would attack his pancreas, because the man spoke far too much truth. And we can't have too much of that going around. Looks like I just ranted off for 40 minutes. Look at that. That's what Saki will do for you. Here I am waiting for my cohort, my co-host. Did I mess something up in signals? I thought it would be the 5, which is 11 here. Oh, never mind. What's going on with everyone? I'm getting texts on my phone. Is somebody trying to send me something important? Apparently not. Just distracting stuff. Yeah. So Amber Heard. That's where I started. Fuck. Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. She's clearly unhinged. Clearly something up with that girl. What a shame. What a shame. Beautiful girl. Fucking shame. Oh well. And I mean, it needs to be said, Johnny looks awful, man. Fuck. He went from being the prettiest man in the world to that. He's clearly had a lot of wine in the past couple of years. And what do we have? What do we have ahead of us now? Do we have a month of this? Because they're broadcasting every second of it live. Everybody's watching it in real time with their popcorn in their hand, watching Johnny talk about day-to-day stuff, minute-to-minute stuff in his own home. It's a little perverse, actually. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think if he was, there would be other people stepping forward saying, yeah, he was abusive to me too. Or on set, he was uncouth or aggressive. It would seem the guy is actually what he appears to be, and that is a kind of a very low, soft-spoken guy, and just kind of little wisdom in his eyes and a smirk every now and then, and that's it. It would seem that way. Would he clench his fist and hit a woman? I doubt it. I really doubt it. I just don't think it's possible. Who knows? Daniel Katz says both Amber and Johnny need Ron the Shrink. Ron, come on, help them out. Psychoanalyze, for crying out loud. I certainly think he needs a little therapy coming out of that stuff. How embarrassing and humiliating is that, he has to go through that shit. Christ. Yay. Somebody says AP Chrono in the house. Not me, man. Mine's in the bank. The thing is worth too much money. I can't wear it anymore. What a shame. Maybe I should just rock it. All right, rocking tonight. I'm rocking the Tudor Harrods, Tudor Black Bay Harrods. What do you think? It's like the Kermit or the Starbucks of the Tudor world, and only available from Harrods in Knightsbridge, London. I'm actually going to sell it. I've got too many watches. I put some up on Instagram today. I got the usual messages like, "What's happened? Don't you like those watches?" I'm like, guys, I got so many watches you don't understand. Gotta get rid of a few. Don't take it to heart. I got the Black Bay Pro as a, somebody gave it to me in part exchange. They wanted a more expensive watch and they sent me a little cash and the Pro. And I thought I'll take the Pro so I can do a review for the channel. I'd rather all the money, but I'll take the Pro and do a review and take shots of it and then sell it on. So I've done a lot of filming in the past few days of the watch. So it's time to advertise it. If anybody wants a Tudor Black Bay Pro, reach out to me. And please know the prices. Same with the Milgauss. Know the prices. Some guy was talking to me today going, I can't believe you're asking me for that amount of money. Hey, we have our boy here.
You guys talking about watches?
Just for a second. Well, you weren't here, man. It's something.
My bad. I got my time messed up. I thought we were doing 6. And
okay.
I gingerly left my place of work. And then I went, wah! Then New Yorked it through and got mad at everybody. So I'm fired up with hatred and ready to spew at everybody. Fucking cunts.
Okay. Well, I just went on for the past almost 50 minutes. I'll let you take over. But let me finish the thought. I'm selling one of the Milgauss Blues, as you know.
Yep.
And a guy reached out to me today going, I can find one for cheaper. And he sent me photos of the non-green crystal black one, the black dial, regular crystal one. I'm like, don't you know that there are different Milgauss? Is that the plural of Milgauss?
Milgauss. I love that because
Milgauss.
I like it. Milgauss.
It's like algae.
I have
algae.
I have 2 Milgauss. Isn't that
I've
great?
got 2 Milgauss. Yeah.
I'm always
you're a
Milgauss
genius. You know all about the different editions of that.
And they all have the same reference number though, which is the
I know that's confusing, right?
Except
well, there's
the
GV, right?
Yeah,
right,
that's it.
Exactly.
GV, yeah.
You know what you're talking about.
Sure.
I was today in work.
It was mayhem. It was absolute summer, spring fever mayhem. Everybody and their mother wanted to get drunk. And for those who don't know, my other hustle is I'm a bartender in New York City, and everybody was mimosing and Belliniing and drinking Bellini and mimosai and crazy. It was so warm out. Everybody was just bananas. And then I got home, and I'm on my own today. I get home, Laverne looks at me. She's like, well, where's the playtime? I'm like, Bashers, here's your food.
Dude, you told me 5.
I didn't. I looked at the text and it was like, if you look at it.
Did I get it wrong? I got it wrong.
We both did. It was like, I thought because 6 only makes sense for me because I can get held up there. 6 makes sense. But I just said, I'm home by 5.
I'm home by 5.
Yeah, which means home by 5. Feed the cat and give her some.
Got it.
But I had set up my my studio beforehand, and I got a green screen, and I got to say, it doesn't look so great. I mean, other than my hands don't
disappear. Got a lot of artifacts.
It does, and I don't know why it does. I mean, at least my hands don't disappear.
What do we see?
Before my hands would disappear because I didn't have a green screen, but I have one now. And but anyway, yeah. So then
turn it off. Okay.
Every fucking cunt in the world was on the subway and on their phones. Here's the thing: can I say one thing about phones? If you're in public and there's a file, you get up an escalator, get into an elevator, get in line for the train door, get off your fucking phone, man, because you're not paying attention of your spatial surroundings, and people are going to push you on the tracks or some kind of something's going to happen. Somebody's going to get so mad at you. It's just a horror show of people. Like, just move. It's the subway. We pile in. There's no etiquette anymore for the subway. Everybody's just like, oh my God, Snapchat. Oh my God, what's going on TikTok? I went, well, this girl was holding up everybody and she was literally watching baby TikToks of like babies doing things. I was like, what the fuck? So I cracked open a Heineken Light. I don't know.
There you go.
Oh, because it's green. Oh, that's why.
Oh, it's green. It's
The bottle's
disappearing.
green. Look,
Your invisible bottle.
because it's green, dummy. Why did I
love
get a
it.
green beer? That's so funny.
You know, Tim
Anyway.
writes in Vegas right now. He's at the Venetian Hotel. I might send him a link so we can get a little tour of the Venetian.
I love it. I actually
Seeing as I gave him a tour of real Venice the other day, he's like,
Oh,
let me repay the favor.
I watched
Show you
that.
the
It was
Venetian.
good. Have you been in the Venetian? I have.
I have not, no.
You know what? It is super, super impressive. I mean, as stupid as Vegas is, and I think Vegas is a shithole, and I don't like anything about it. I think it's the worst. The dregs of society go there. All the white, trashiest people pack their dirtiest, ugliest T-shirt into their bag for travel. It's like, have you not thought this out? People in the restaurants are wearing flip-flops. It's gross.
Right.
But the Venetian, John, my guitar player from Hitman, we were staying at the MGM Grand, which was Brotard Central. It was just girls and skanks and people throwing up everywhere. And we went over, we put dinner jackets on and we went to the Venetian, and it was, the scope of it was mind-boggling. The frescoes, all of the paintings, everything in there was done so well that
Right.
I said to Paul, is it a trompe l'oeil or is that silk screened? And no, it turns out they actually got artists to paint it. Those are not like silk screens or appliques. It's really done. It's an impressive place. I don't know what the rooms look like, but the public spaces were shockingly interesting. So yeah, if you get Tim on there, the lobby, it's pretty wow. But that leads dum-dums to go, well, I don't ever need to go to Venice because, I've been to the Venetian and it's the same thing. They got the gondolas and they got the canals. And what's even better is right upstairs, you can go gamble. You got roulette and you got slot machines, and they don't have that in Venice, do they?
They don't have the slot. Well, they have the casino, the original casino here, but like
black tie.
You can't just wander in. Yeah, it's black tie. You can't go in your flip-flops at any point.
Yeah,
Tom, for watches, we don't really talk a whole lot about watches on here, but that's okay. Tom, the OP39 is the first Rolex, is amazing.
Great idea.
Yes, great idea.
That's your entry level for doing it.
Yeah, perfect. And it might be your one and done. If you never want to get another one, you'll be fine. It's elegant, beautiful, dressy, classy, beautiful. Yeah,
it's a gorgeous watch. You should totally get that. What color would you get though?
In the 39s, I think they came in silver and in black, maybe blue. Not sure there was anything else. I'm not sure. We're going back now because they moved them up to 41s. I have the 41.
Yeah, of course you have the 41 because the 39 won't work on you.
Did you notice the Venetian? Because I saw some of Tim's thing late last night, and the back of the Venetian there, where they have gondolieri, they have gondolas, they have people getting onto gondolas. And they have a little stretch of water like 80 feet long or something.
No, they have more than that. They have
they
have canals that they have the Grand Canal with a
they have it?
Well, they have a Grand Canal.
Oh, it was just a part of it I saw then.
Oh no. It's a whole like series of canals that go through the hotel under. Yeah, and they have they've repainted the floor of it to look more like, because there's a very odd color in the real Venice. That color, kind of murky blue green. It's very unusual, and it's not found in nature other than in Venice. So originally it was kind of electric blue, Mediterranean blue, and then they figured it out. So they've dredged it and they've repainted it many times. But they have this kind of Doge's Palace with like everything smushed together like Disney World. They have the Doge's Palace next to the Rialto Bridge, with next to the Campanile, like stuff that's, it's the piazza. Everything's just kind of condensed into one stupid area. But they do have several little like tributaries where the canals go through the building, through the lobby. It's very interesting for a Disney ride, which is essentially what it is. It's a Disney ride.
It looks that part I saw last night looks like the back, you know, where the Splendid Hotel is when the Hard Rock Cafe is here.
Yeah.
Right behind that side of the Piazza San Marco, and you walk out, it looks exactly modeled on that exact place.
It is modeled exactly.
Yeah.
The facade of the Doge's Palace will shock you in its intricacy. It is very well rendered. All of it is. I mean,
Wow.
it's across from the Tropicana. It's stupid because when you turn around, you know, there's no lagoon. It's the Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's a big light up sign saying, you know, Chris Angel Magic Show, you know. But it was shockingly well done, and we had a really nice dinner, and we wandered around and gambled a little bit, you know, just light gambling. And it was you know, it's the only place to stay there, I think. I know your brother likes the Cosmopolitan, and but people love Vegas. You know, I don't. I think it's a bad
Timmy is there for a week. I don't know how he's going to do it. Anytime I went to Vegas, it was 24 hours and out, or less than 24 hours. Get the hell out of there. Timmy's there for, like, they're all meeting up, the watch crowd, and he got there early. He's there for a week. What's he going to do for a week? He's going to be out of his mind. They're going to find him in a dumpster or something in 4 days.
Well, if he meets the wrong people, and you know, there's a lot of nefarious fuckers that go to Vegas, you know.
Yeah,
it's a place where
it's such a weird town.
Yeah, you know, it's not Saint Tropez or Monaco. You know,
no, it ain't. It's
not
in the middle of the desert,
right? I mean, when you fly over Vegas, you ever fly over Vegas? It's like on your way to LA. You're flying. It's black. It's the blackest of black, and then insane lights, and then nothing. It's
dude, I've done a lot of stuff in Vegas, as you know. I've been there
I know
many
you've
times.
been there.
We played it. We supported Van Halen in Vegas.
Right. Yeah.
We did a Vegas gig with Van Halen
at the MGM Grand. You played, right?
No, it was at the
Luxor.
Orleans Hotel, New Orleans Hotel. Or
I don't
Orleans
even think
Hotel.
that exists anymore.
It probably doesn't. It looked very old fashioned, which I liked. But actually, me and Emmett went gambling afterwards in there, and it was a little sad. Everyone in the room was a loser. We got in a taxi, we went to Luxor, and because Emmett's just he's got the best luck in the world. He's just every time he put chips down on the table, it came in, and so we had a good night in the end. But the Orleans Hotel had a huge venue, like a 15,000, 20,000 seater in the back, and yeah. Was it Van Halen? Yeah, I think it was Van Halen. Yeah.
No, I remember. Sure. I remember when you guys were there.
Yeah.
I've only been there the one time. We went there. It's because our then drummer is located there because he's one of the biggest pyrotechnicians in Vegas. He does Cirque du Soleil and a lot of the giant shows. And we went there and we rehearsed in the outskirts, like off the strip. Now, off the strip is where shit gets interesting. It's really stonewashed jeans, white boots with tassels on them, halter tops. It looks like 1988, 1989, where people have frosted hair, and it's just really a moment in a time capsule. So, like it's a certain kind of trashery that's there. Sorry, folks, but that's just I'm from New York.
Trashery. I love that word.
There's a lot of treachery going on there. But we rehearsed in these like off the beaten path, and then we would return at night to the strip and we were only there for about 4 or 5 days, exploring much of the city. And my big joke was, it ain't Monte Carlo, of which I've never been either. I've never seen Monaco, but you know, I know
I've been there. I've never been inside the casinos, but I've been there. Yeah, it's wild.
Your brother has done Monte Carlo in the best possible way. He's drank juice there, and
he's really experienced it.
Gone to the Casino Royale, and
with the Enrique band, just in case anybody's wondering.
He's doing very high-end touring. Yeah.
So. That's who you want to be with. Those folk, you know, when you go to a town like that,
you want to be like on the Edge and Bono's, you know, list. You know, you want to like if U2 plays in Monaco, and you want to be like at dinner with those guys, because imagine what they get up to. in Monaco. It's probably like Domini Romani Conti. We'll take 4 bottles for the table.
Yeah, because it's just bottomless pockets, man.
Yeah, that's funny.
But I've been back to Vegas a bunch of times. We did a bunch of stuff with the. We went with Bruce Willis that time. We stood him up because we were supposed to be at his party. We didn't go. We went off with the Maloof brothers to the Palms Hotel, and I told that whole story in one of my episodes. Breeze the dancer, and all of that stuff. That was so funny. And I've been back up. I like to gamble. It's a good gambling town, but the best gambling town in America for me is Atlantic City.
Well, that's your home away from home.
Yeah, I lived there for a while. Yeah, there was that too. That's a story in itself. But on the tables, like if you're on the roulette table and you get 00, which is their arbitrage, their advantage, right?
Right.
Because otherwise they don't have that extra advantage. They need the 00, the 0. In the old fashioned, like here in the casino here in Venice, it's just 10. Oh. And it's the same in Vegas, but Reno has the 00 and the 0. And so does Atlantic City. If that comes in, you'll get half of your money back.
Wow.
You're not a complete
I've never
loser.
played roulette. I don't know.
Yeah.
I played the only real gambling I ever did was my soul story is way back when, probably 10 years ago. I had a regular customer who was a high roller at the Borgata. And he used to say, you have to come play, bring luck first time. He's from Macedonia. Sam and Terry, the great, great, great people. And I used to bring a lot of people around. He's like to bring first timers in for luck because he was very superstitious about the gambling.
Right.
And I said, what do you play? He goes, Baccarat. I said, oh, cool. Just like Dr. No. I always thought it was shitty that even though Casino Royale is my favorite Bond movie, it was a shame that they were playing Texas Hold'em in that movie.
Right, because that's all the rage these days. Yeah,
they dumbed down for the gambling because originally Bond played Baccarat. So I downloaded the instructions on how to play Baccarat in the car that he had sent for us. Learned how to play. I remember like the last exit before you get to Atlantic City is miles and miles and miles, and I had to pee really bad. I remember finally getting to the hotel and thinking my bladder was gonna die. We got there. I got a great room. He hooked me up. I went downstairs. He gave me $1,000, and in 10 minutes, I had $11,000 on the table. Wow. I made 10 grand in 10 minutes, and I said to him, "I'm done." And I got up, tipped the dealer, and he goes, "No, you're on the hot streak. You must play. You're making so much money. You're crazy."
No.
While I'm playing, this woman comes up to me and kneels down. She goes, "May I see your room key?" And I said, "Sure." She goes, "We'd like to offer you an upgrade." And I said, "Oh, that would be really nice." So I give her my key, continue playing, get up, tip the guy, and then I said, "No, I just won like 8 rounds. There's no way, because there's like several decks. I forget how many. I think you have to get 9. That's the objective of Baccarat. But there's like 4 or 5 shoes, and you have to. I don't know how anybody could card count during that, but it was just majorly a stroke of luck. So we get to another table. I take $100. I play. I lose. And at the same time, this woman comes and gives me a different key. And I said, "Oh, I have to move all my stuff." She goes, "It's already been done for you."
Already been done.
They went into the room
because they want you to feel special, so you keep gambling.
So I didn't gamble one more time since then. I gave him. Let me keep the first grand, and I gave him the 10. And they had given me like a voucher for the restaurant, and they gave me a Brioni gift certificate, like a card for Brioni. Now, for those of not in the know for men's sartorial greatness, Brioni is probably the preeminent Italian menswear brand. It's outrageous. If you want to see what it looks like before Tom Ford got a hold of Daniel Craig, Casino Royale is all Brioni. Beautiful suits and jackets and shirts and stuff.
And was the gift card enough to buy anything in their store?
I bought one tie.
It's always a tie. It's just to get you in. Yeah.
That's all I could afford. It was a $400, $380 tie.
Yeah.
And that was it.
I was with a girl one time. She was, selling she would sell pharmaceutical, drugs to the pharmacies and the doctors' offices around Brooklyn and Queens. You know these girls that go around and what are they called?
Prostitutes.
I know they're in pencil skirts and stuff, and they go in and they're telling these, they're actually trained, highly trained, and yeah, and they
Just
have to,
another brand of hooey.
right, and they go in and they tell the doctors, oh, you should pick up this drug because this is great for, they're actually selling the drugs to the doctors in these clinics.
Yeah.
It's like so,
Kickback
it's so
Central.
obscenely corrupt, the whole thing, right? And of course, the doctors always ask them out because they're usually attractive young girls, right?
Sure. And they're married.
What, yeah, and these older doctors, they're married, and but they have a Porsche,
Of course,
like
they have a Porsche.
yeah. So she used to go out on these dates, and she'd get dropped off at my house. I'd see a Porsche. I'd hear a Porsche coming up the street. And he's dropping me off at your house. She was very like that.
Dr. Solomon Lowenstein is like,
yeah,
I'm gonna meet Saul.
There's lots of vocal fry, right?
Vocal fry.
So, yeah.
So,
he's so pathetic. He's like trying to kiss me all night. Yeah. And she comes over to the house, but she had an Hermes
bag.
No, not a bag. She had some sort of gift from Hermes. I can't remember. It was like a shawl or something. And she's like, he was like, Telly gave this to me. And I'm like, oh God, these poor dudes, You're just wiping the floor with all these men that are doting over you. And then you're coming over here, whatever, for your scruffy Irish man. And she tried to cash it in. She went back to Hermes and she goes, I got this as a gift. I don't like it. So I was just thinking, and there was nothing else in the whole store she could exchange it for. It was $850, but there was nothing else that was $850 in the whole store. They were like, well, you can give it back to us and we'll give you this thing for $3,000. So like, forget it.
It's ridiculous that brands like that have gift cards. It's not Macy's. Like, what can you get? Like, I know a woman. I have a very good friend.
Corey, you're right. It's Porsche. But I just say Porsche because
Porsche. It's not Porsche. It's Porsche.
Isn't it Porsche?
No, it's Porsche.
It's Porsche.
Porsche. I spent a lot of time in Germany. It's Porsche.
There's a guy, the Gentleman's Gazette. He says it's Porsche.
That guy's got a little bit of a stick up his ass. I bet he's a bottom.
All right. Sorry, I interrupted I interrupted your story. Go ahead.
Plus, I don't, his fashion is very I watch it and it's interesting because it's persnickety, and I watched his shave, and he's not a very hairy dude. Like we could go for a shave, like they could shave my back. That guy, he's like a dainty fella. So, like John Hamm needs to go for a shave proper,
Right.
This guy, he's a bit persnickety. He's one of those guys that wears wingtip shoes, and like his idea of sartorial and fashion and all that is a little bit kind of, just nerdy persnickety, when, men's fashion is really like Paris, Milan, like great stuff. This is more kind of nerdy, Victorian era. He's got a bit of a costumery about his, doesn't he? It's kind of costumey. He wears hats. Men don't wear hats.
It's like old men's fashion or something.
It's like old men's fashion. What are those? Forgive me, I don't know the name of them. Monk strap shoes. Ew. Ugh, who'd wear that?
What are they?
Monk strap shoes are the shoes that they have a fold over the top. You put your foot in and you fold the big piece of leather over, and there's usually two clasps on the one side of the shoe. Monk strap, that's what they're called. So if you put your foot in the shoe and then you pull the leather strap over towards the outer edge of the shoe, and then you fasten it with two buckles on the outer edge of the shoe. It's a classic shoe. It's not like lace up, slip on, monk strap. But it's not, like Tom Ford doesn't have monk strap shoes. That's for sure. You're looking them up, yeah. Yeah, monk strap. Yeah.
Oh, I see. There's a strap over there.
There's a strap up there. I mean, it's like you wouldn't wear that. Look, it's farty.
That's a little farty for me. You
That's
see
very farty.
See those frills on the front? I can't.
Ew, gross. There's nothing worse than tassels on anything.
My cock just got smaller. I just lost
it's
like 2 inches off my
shrinkage
dick from that. Yeah, because that's
shrinkage.
not. That's like a fringe on the.
It's a fringe. It's
horrible. A fringe on the shoe.
It's like
we don't like that.
like if you're going to wear a tuxedo, say you were invited to the Oscars or you're nominated or something, and you get a tuxedo, the classic tuxedo shoe is called a pump, and it's a patent leather, and it's very slender. But like guys like Tom Ford or like Xenia, they'll make a shoe that's chunky and masculine looking. But yeah, there's a monk strap. See with the double. It's hard. Who'd wear it? Those are horrible. I don't like those at all. I don't like the look of them. And it's a beautiful craftsmanship, obviously. Beautiful, sure. But
Yeah.
you wouldn't be caught dead in those. They're weird.
No.
I would think that everybody would think I was a bottom.
I don't know. It seems there are different types of monk strap.
There are.
There's
the
some
classic
Brooklyn
look at
hipster with them on. Look.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than that.
Yeah, look at that. And it's high.
That what is that? That's like looks like the Circus Barker. But look at the fade on them. It's like a Les Paul.
Yeah, right. It's like a sunburst. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. Monk strap shoes. Yeah, that guy, Gentleman's Quarter. He's in. It's a niche. It's almost like he's in period drag. That guy, Westcott's and all that stuff. Guys don't really wear that. Fashion, men's fashion is what's happening today. They're if it's not McQueen or Ford or the hot guys that are out there, that's old fashioned Turnbull and Asser or Savile Row. These old timey. What is the other one? The famous one. Gladwin. Oh, there's so many old timey, like old men wear that shit. Guys who want to look cool. You're not going to go to the Venetian wearing that.
Porsche.
It's Porsche.
Porsche.
Like in A Fish Called Wanda. Porsche. The daughter's name is Porsche. Mr. Manfred Jensen. Remember Fish Called Wanda?
Yeah. Disappointed. Kevin Kline.
Disappointed. Don't call me stupid.
He opens
the best line in that movie is
money.
the wife when they get confronted in the house with the locket, and she says the name Manfred Jensen, and the wife repeats it exactly. Listen, Mr. Manfred Jensen. Kevin Kline won an Oscar for that movie.
He did?
He did.
For a comedy role? That's amazing.
He won Best Supporting Actor. He did. It was genius. Ken.
They often give supporting to a comedy role.
Sure, like Marissa Tomei in My Cousin Vinny.
Right. And she fucking Miranda Richardson was up for 2 roles that year. She should have got them. She was up for Damage. Remember Damage?
What a film.
That sex story, that deceit story. Yeah. So,
Miranda Richardson. I always think of the line, the cross and the curve, and how bad that was. And she's like, my hands, they're burned. My hands, they're burned. During, was it like The Sensual World? Remember that movie, The Line, the Cross, the Curve, the Kate Bush movie?
I remember it.
It's a thing that kind of sank her creatively. She felt.
So what do you think of Depp and Amber Heard? What's going on there?
Well, I have been semi-obsessed with watching the testimony of that shebang. Did you want to know what's really cool? Since you're the great screen sharer, go find the picture of his drug stash, and I'm going to tell you something. Go find a picture of his drug stash.
Yeah,
it's really good because
you
they, they, and he's going to kill me. She's trying to make him look bad, and he's the type of guy that is not an eloquent speaker. He's an introvert. He has a very hard time spitting out sentences that he is. And talk about a guy that doesn't dress very well. It looks like he went to Chess King at the mall and somebody gave him the wrong size jacket, and his ties from 1972. They're horrible. He looks terrible. But she is just a viper. So she got a picture to make him look bad of the drugs that they used. And there's a really interesting, let me see if I can get it. Hold on. And a lot of people who are in the know are going to know what I'm talking about.
I haven't. They've been broadcasting the whole thing like 24/7 almost. To which I'm thinking, like, what are they? Is it going to be a month of this now? Are we going to watch a month of this trial? It's reality TV at this point.
It is totally. And I mean,
fair enough.
What is it for?
Well, it's him suing her, right? Not instead of the other way around, which was the last one.
Here it is.
Because apparently he lost jobs. He lost roles. Hollywood roles. Millions of dollars. Because of her allegations, her accusations.
Okay. So he's got Keith Richards CD. He's got whiskey. He's got tobacco. Driver's.
Of course, he has a Keith Richards CD. Of course, he has.
But look in the middle. They were snorting cocaine through a tampon applicator.
Oh God, no! What happened to an old-fashioned $1 or $10 note?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a baller, you're supposed to be rolling up 100 and snorting cocaine. But they were snorting coke through a tampon applicator. Look at that. And look at the shitty wine he's drinking. What is that? Infinite. What is that?
Crappy shit. Yeah. That is awful. Whatever the hell he's drinking.
Didn't he have, now apparently he blew through $630 million. Didn't he have like a Bordeaux and Burgundy habit of somewhere like $100,000 a week?
Dude, the guy lived in France. His ex-wife, mother of his children, is Vanessa, what's her name?
Paradis.
Yeah. Je le taxi. Do you remember that song? Je le taxi.
Sure, I remember
the taxi driver, Joe, the taxi driver.
Yeah.
And she's a little skimpy French waif. And leave that picture up. That's amazing. I need to keep looking at that. But clearly he was in France. They have their own chateau, like their own, villa. He was, of course, getting the best of the best of France. Of course he was. The guy's probably like drank bottles of DRC and Latache. And
sure he was. He was drinking like Latache and snorting cocaine. But doesn't this picture look staged?
Yeah, it all looks set up like almost perfectly.
Look at the perfect cocaine, the Depp branded drug box, the whiskey. Which
so you think that's her?
I think this is all just something she concocted to make him look bad. Keith Richards CD. She thinks that this is going to look incriminating. And look at I've never done cocaine, so forgive me. But when you do cocaine, do you lay out 3 perfect lines like that? Or do you cut the lines as you're doing them? Or do you stop to photograph them before you snort them through a tampon applicator?
You're asking the wrong guy.
I know.
Never done it in my life, ever. I've had cocaine around me my whole life. And
I have sat on a tour bus and watched someone pass out in a mountain of cocaine. And I've always looked at it as like, oh God, never in a billion years would I do that. I think I would sneeze for a year. Which I have such bad allergies anyway. My God, how does it just dry you out? I don't know. But who was it? Somebody was telling me that there's a new way to do cocaine, and it is they put it in a vaporizer, like perfume, but it's in like an Afrin. Do you know like the allergy things where you just go squit? It's like a thing to just squirt up your nose. It's got a propellant in it. Like it's an allergy. It's in an allergy kind of. It's in an apparatus that will just blow it straight up your nose and right into your bloodstream. So it's like the new thing is instead of walking around with cocaine, you have it like an Afrin spray or whatever the sprays are of du jour for allergies. And you keep that in your purse or your pocket, and you're in the bar and you just give yourself a quick hit of your allergy medicine, but it's really just blow.
There are different ways of absorbing cocaine. Like people get it blown up their ass with a straw.
Stevie
and stuff.
Nicks, yeah.
Stevie Nicks, yeah.
Yeah, T-Boy did that for her. That was part of his job when he worked for her. He used to blow
Really?
cocaine up her ass. Yeah.
I heard that story from a totally different source. Who
Well,
was
that-
there
well-
in the studio with her, and saw that actually happen.
Oh yeah, well it was probably T-Boy because he worked for her for 5 years. She probably had everybody blowing coke up her ass.
He
But,
sat there all day. I don't know who the guy was, but my source
Uh,
is a very famous producer and was like noticing the fact that they were disappearing off to the restroom regularly. And later the conversation came up. What does that guy do? I haven't seen him like bring food, get coffees. He doesn't do anything. He sits there all day and then he disappears whenever she needs to go to the restroom.
yeah.
That was his one job. My only question, and this is how messed up I am, did he use one of those curvy straws?
Like a crazy
the
straw?
ones that bend. That
Those are
have
crazy. Oh
yeah. Or did he go all the way down?
I don't
Because
know.
otherwise it'd be a way different job. You don't have to look at everything that's happening.
Yeah, I never
That's my
asked him,
imagination.
and Todd is now dead because of his cocaine habit. So, and he told me that she blew cocaine up his ass because she said, "Oh, you have no idea how cocaine feels until you've had somebody blow it up your ass." So she did it for him, and he was
That's
like,
so
"Sold."
strange to me because it's clearly like when they come up, when you're getting an operation or whatever, you're going under the knife and they give you ketamine or morphine or whatever.
Yeah,
And, all of a sudden your world changes. Like clearly when you're snorting something in your nose, you're drinking, you're smoking something, it's right there in your face. You're using your face,
yeah.
and then it affects your head. Whereas something happens down the other end and then it affects your head. That must be so weird, right? Must be different.
Well, I guess it just affects your whole body. It's just systemic. I mean, I don't know what like if I ever tried cocaine, I'm sure I would become addicted to it because I love all forms of stimuli. I love coffee and Diet Coke and I love caffeine. I probably would love cocaine. Probably.
Right.
So better not to ever try that. Plus it's just Coke people are just a sad pack, sad bunch. You see it. It's not like people don't really. There are the few people that can just go to Vegas and do a weekend of Coke. There's that. But then there's the sad sacks that, start selling their guitars and all of that. And it happens because they can't get enough. They can't be themselves anymore. They don't know their lives. I find like, who's the guy, the British guy I find him so fucking annoying. Russell Brand. He's very smart, yes, but he's a bit of a fucking know-it-all cunt too, And I really don't like. I try to watch his show, but he's a little too know-it-all-y, and I can't really tell what side he's on because he loves to break shit apart to the point where it's just boring. He breaks things down so deeply that it's so boring. He gets so technical on the most mundane things. But that guy was like lit like a Christmas tree at Rock Center, That guy was on every drug known to mankind. You can see that he is permanently altered. That guy.
Yeah, he's never quite coming back.
No, he'll never be
back.
back.
A bit like Ozzy, right?
Yeah, well,
Ozzy's got wet brain, so that's way more severe. But that guy, he's never coming back from there.
Yeah.
Right?
He's all hyper and I don't know if that's ADD or whatever he's got, but that cocaine exacerbated it. Ozzy's like, he's like,
I was. It's full of stammers and shit, right? Now I'm doing an Ozzy impression. Look at me. Is all of that right? You can't get through
I've
like
never
a sentence.
met him.
You dragged through. You never met him?
Never. I've never been in the same room with him. I've been backstage at one of his shows, and I never saw him. Apparently, people love him to death.
Yeah, he's the king of metal. He's the god of metal. Right?
Yeah. I love that.
He's the sound of Satan. He's the voice of Satan. No?
Isn't it funny that the sound of Satan, like everything that guy ever did was written for him? He never wrote anything.
It doesn't matter. That's
No,
okay.
I know it doesn't matter, but like Satan laughing spreads his wings. Oh Lord, yeah, like it's the most
Yeah.
demonic shit ever.
Yeah.
And he's just the guy that they pushed out and said, "You do it."
You do it. But he did it so
Yeah,
well.
he
Yeah,
did.
but think of Floyd. Like Roger
Well,
Waters is writing. Did you ever hear the Roger Waters original Money, the version of Money?
sure, I've heard all that.
Money. He says money. He didn't go money
Yeah,
like Gilmore said.
money.
Money. He
Yeah,
says money. It just doesn't have the same impact at all. The whole song would have been a complete flop had he sung it. But Gilmore sang it, and Gilmore's got rasp and
Gilmore's
charisma
got
and all of
so much.
that. Yeah.
As Roger Waters centric as we are, I mean, Gilmore's got several levels of mojo that Roger does not have.
That does
One is
not. Roger
when
can
he's.
barely sing. He's got a voice like broken glass. That's one of the reasons we love him. You know?
I just got a text from Dana who should probably show up because they solved the murder in Forest Hills. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, we were going to talk about that. I texted Dana to see if she wanted to chime in because she's an expert on this.
She's an expert.
So this woman was stabbed in Forest Hills 60 times, and her body was like dumped somewhere in a bag, and her phone was used to text the whole family saying, "I'm coming for you guys next." Now there was this whole interesting part to me. I mean, that's interesting in itself, okay.
Sure.
But the really interesting part was he goes, "Your wife put me in jail years ago, and I'm back." And I thought, wow, it's Cape Fear.
Right.
Yeah.
That was
It's
a red
De
herring.
Niro.
Right?
It's Cape Fear. You're going to learn about loss,
Yes.
And I thought, wow, a dude got out of jail. He's looking for the ADA or the prosecutor or maybe she was a judge. I didn't know any details about her yet. And he's on a revenge spree. I mean, I feel sick. Kind of, it's a very serious thing, and a woman died and so on. But it's also kind of like, oh, here we go. Like this is it really happening? That's clearly the fantasy of every person who's been put away in jail, right? I'm gonna get that fucking lawyer, fuck me, or I'm gonna get that judge back, right?
They all plot that murder,
and that whole fantasy has been around for a very long time. Clearly, because there was the original Cape Fear years ago, back in the 50s, with Gregory Peck, wasn't he in it? He was the lawyer.
In which
movie? I don't. The original Cape Fear back in the 50s.
Yes, the original Cape Fear. Yes.
Yeah. So that's been around for a long time. So I thought, oh my God, here we go. Here it is. This is happening. And it was, no. They were lovers.
She was banging the handyman, and who was an illegal immigrant. And that'll make the Trumpers go, yay. And he knew where the key was. So it was a lover's quarrel. She probably
came
said,
over
I can't
and he said,
anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that there was probably texting going on when she was sitting at that bar. I've been in that bar. That bar is right where the overpass, right before you walk into the beautiful town she lived in, which is Forest Hills Gardens. If anybody ever goes to Forest Hills Tennis Stadium for a show in New York, it's in a glorious venue, beautiful old tennis stadium that they turned into a music venue. And so she was there for 45 minutes on her phone waiting for somebody. It was probably him. And then when she got home, he killed her.
Yeah. So he texted her and said, hey, we got to talk. And she said, okay, I can't talk here. I'll come to that local bar. She waited. He came over. Why don't you love me anymore? I thought we were going to leave your husband for me, or whatever the hell shit was said.
Yeah.
No? And then it came to a head in the basement, and the kid was upstairs. He was playing video games or something.
He was probably
wasn't even aware.
Reality world.
Right. He was off in the metaverse, and he had no idea his mom was being slain downstairs. Then the next thought was like that father was away, looking for an apartment for his kids for college or something like for school.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, that's double bad news. He got home. First of all, his wife is gone. Second of all, she's been screwing the handyman the whole time.
Now,
What
I
a
had seen
twist.
so many articles that they had a rocky marriage. Apparently, she had done something like this before, and they got back together again. And I saw a picture of her husband. She was a very good-looking girl, and he's a very handsome guy that she's married to. But that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that.
But yeah, I saw.
I saw the dude. I saw the.
Yeah, he looks like fucking Rasputin.
I know. He's got like
What the
big bunch
fuck
of
is
hair.
that?
I read the New York Post thing, and it was like,
Crazy.
who bears a striking resemblance to Slash from Guns N' Roses.
Did
That's
somebody
when
say that?
That's when the New York Post said that. That's when you're reminded once again that the New York Post is toilet paper.
It's
It's
garbage.
like
Hey,
their
who wanted to see my
editorial.
cat? Hold on, here she is.
Oh, there's a cat.
Here's my visit from Laverne.
Talk about your cat for a minute. I'm gonna go to the restroom. I'll be back
Go to
in
the
a
restroom.
second.
So this is Laverne. She's my lady friend. Come here, baby. This is Laverne. She's 12, and she's my special lady. And I was at work all day, and I had to come home and very sadly give her food and her treats and retreat into my studio. But I left the door open. Usually I close it, and I said, if you want to hang out and be on the iBashers, you can. But she's my ladybug, and animals are better than people, so she's everything. So what's going on out there with the Bashers world while he's in the loo? Her name is Laverne. It's a girl. She's I've been accused of treating lady animals better than I do male animals. Not that I treat anybody badly, but special. Ladies are special. I've had a lot of pets over the years. I had a female dog for 17 years who was love of my life. And then we pick up a lot of strays and take them home, and they become part of the family. It's very important to me to try to do that and not buy animals or contribute to the puppy mills, kitten mills of the world. Anyway, that's the story. That's Laverne. She's got freedom of the house to come to the studio whenever she wants. So yeah, what are we talking about? So the handyman didn't realize the thing about married women is they get too attached. Let's show that. Is that they don't get too attached. Right. She's using him for whatever he's offering her, and ultimately her husband and her children are her priority. So I'm allergic to cats too, by the way. That's a load of shit. I brought a cat home, and I suffered for 3 months, and then I wasn't allergic to cats anymore, and I'm not anymore. So yeah, that's the story. And everybody thinks it's Laverne and Shirley, but it's not. It's just she's named after one of the Andrews sisters, because I'm a singer and I like old-timey singers. So I got to say, Steve Shapiro was great last week. Of course he is. He's one of the smartest, most fascinating guys we know. His friendship with the prostitute was super interesting to hear. Yeah, I mean, Steve's a big producer now in Hollywood, but he's a very, very smart, very fascinating guy. And, who better than Steve to befriend a prostitute? He's great at it.
Yeah. What are you talking? Are you talking about me?
No, we're talking about Steve Shapiro and his relationship with prostitutes. It's not like he was friends. He's friended a prostitute, but it was funny. It was about my cat. Then it was about Steve and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, feral cats. I like feral cats. Yeah, I like to try to make feral cats house cats. Oh,
Did you get to this?
I didn't.
Serotonin, the happy chemical, is made in the intestine. Drugs can release a massive amount of it. Yes, sure.
That's why people like tie up their balls and ask somebody to strangle them.
Ray, is this a Time to Swatch channel or iBashers? It's on both channels, my friend. Watch it on either one. After the fact, it will not be on Time to Swatch channel. It'll only be found on iBashers. Go over there and subscribe. Do whatever you want, man. If you want a super chat, do it over on this side, though, Time to Swatch channel, because you can't do it over there yet.
Almost.
We're fun. Close. Funny. Exactly. Just tried to watch his take on Will Jada, perfect explanation. Whose take? I wonder who he's talking about.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. On the Will Jada thing.
This is a rough one. At Dana O'Malley, a horrific trauma, and then to have the news covered as if your mom was a dirty girl, which she was. I mean,
yeah.
What's a dirty girl? I mean, at the end of the day, she's having an affair. That doesn't mean she's a dirty girl. It means she had an affair. So the trauma for the kids will be yeah. I mean, it's terrible, but that's the way stuff works now. Everybody is crucified for liking. She drank Diet Pepsi. Oh, what? She did.
Oh my God.
She drank Diet
No,
Pepsi.
come on, but still though, she was screwing the handyman.
You know how many girls?
Did he know? Lots of girls.
You know what? A lot of your
guys
out there are screwing.
You know how many guys screw the handy girl or whatever the equivalent is, that the waitress or the secretary.
Far less than, because guys are easy and girls aren't. Guys don't say no.
Yeah, right. The handyman's not going to say, "Oh,
he's not going to say no."
Beautiful white woman in big house. Yeah, right.
Sorry. Thank you so much. You're very attractive, but I'll have to take a pass on that. Thank you, though. That doesn't happen. Whereas a girl will be like, "Fuck you, you dirty old man. What do you think I am, a slut?" Terrible. The nanny, of course, but that's generally famous people. That's who are the famous nanny? All of the actors. That's not
Schwarzenegger.
Oh, Schwarzenegger, right? That was the end of his marriage to Maria.
He had a
right?
child.
Oh God!
He had a child with her.
Can I ask you a question? Condoms. What is wrong with you?
Yeah,
just
birth
wear
control.
A condom. What is wrong with you?
Or fix the problem.
Oh, well,
there, Lacara said Arnold Schwarzenegger came in the dishwasher. Oh God, classy, very classy.
Oh God.
Also, doesn't it prove that it's just that so much about relationships and sexuality is proximity? Doesn't it prove that there is no real such thing as love? Falling in love with the right person it's falling in love with the person who's there and available on a regular basis.
Yeah, falling like this guy, with the familiarity.
Yeah, it's just available, is there, it's around. Like Schwarzenegger, whether you like him or not, he's a mega star. He's a big, bulky, handsome guy, Austrian, muscly dude. Okay, you're not into him. Fine.
I don't know if he was ever handsome. He was just a big muscle thing.
Have you ever seen Pumping Iron? Have you ever seen Pumping?
Sure.
Okay, the very handsome dude.
I think
but obviously, like the big muscles. Yeah, he's like a statue or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And he's a super gazillionaire, mega star. Sure. And did you see the nanny? Like that is a woman who would never ever be a person like, other than the fact, had it not been for the fact, I should say, that she was there every day washing the dishes. That proximity is so much to do with that.
Right.
It's amazing
all
to me.
Proximity, because
it proves to me that actually, like, real love probably doesn't exist. People settle for the thing that's there. I think I have a cynical attitude with this stuff. The idea that you'll sail across seas or you'll get on a horseback to find your love in the mountains. It's bullshit. It's total
young
bollocks.
Love. It's new love, because old love is familiarity and comfort and trust. That's what long-term relationship. But that whole "my heart is broken" is when you're very young or it's very new. That doesn't happen. Like, I mean, if somebody dies, yes, then you're heartbroken, of course. But that whole crossing the seas or jumping on a flight to Jakarta, or
let's meet at the Empire State Building. What was that?
Yeah,
film?
right. That's it could happen. Blah, 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 blah. That is. Wow, forgive me. I'm going to lose so much.
You should know that film.
That is
that's right in your wheelhouse.
Because Warren Beatty remade it. Yes. And that
with his wife,
Annette
Bening. But the original version, of course, is the one.
Somebody else. Nathaniel will know that off the top of his head. It's where she gets hit by the car, and so
she's going to come meet him
Yeah.
at the Empire State.
Yeah.
Thank you, Benzo 1818. Yeah, but I just don't. I think it's so much more to do. There was a girl who was really into me, violinist, beautiful girl. She's to be found in some of the videos that I'm in as well. And we had this kind of flirtation thing. We went on a date or two actually, and she's the busiest woman in America. My God, you know, like booked gigs constantly, huge stuff. She was supposed to play with Mr. North actually at one of the shows, and I had offered her $300 or something for the evening, and she had to cancel. She was offered 3,000 to play some other. I was like, take the gig, you know. I'm not offended, but she was always like, she was never with anyone. She was very hard to lock down. It was very difficult to actually find time with her, and I was a busy guy myself anyway, and it was just not happening. And then she went on this tour. She's playing violin and the guy is playing organ. And they went on this tour. It was organized, a musical tour.
And then her organ.
And then her organ and his organ. They went on tour for 6 months. What? They're married now.
And they have a baby.
It's like it's like if you put two people in a room who don't know each other, and you not tie them, but you lock them in the room. You give them food and everything they need, but you just leave them in the room. Eventually, they're just going to fall in love because they'll just become familiar with each other. It doesn't matter who they are. Like, it's so much more to do with other things than, you know, our ideas of romance are a bit skewed.
Well, they're completely based on great literature and religion, and like, here's a perfect example, and I'm just going to out them here because I love them anyway. But my friends Diane and Chris, who I worked with for years and years and years, he fucking hated her. She hated him. They were at odds at work, crazy. And I said, "How long have you been fucking her?" Because I knew the chemistry between the two of them was outrageous, and they've been together for like 10 years. They're a great couple. But like you could see, and they were they were thrown into the arena together. They would have never, ever probably hooked up otherwise. But yeah, I think the proximity thing, that's a really great essay. Proximity has a lot to do with it. You walk into a bar, you run into somebody. Now, of course, with all that video dating, all the app dating, everyone is in your proximity now.
Sure, but then that's forced. And like when someone falls in love with, you know, like when teenagers are falling in love with Justin Bieber, that's a violation of that rule. Now they're falling in love with someone out there across the universe who they can't reach. So it's a very unusual thing that happens. And it's probably very awe-inspiring and very romantic. But the truth is they're probably going to fall in love with and marry the guy who lives 2 doors down, because that's just fucking life. Do you remember that film with
Bruce? And he's so sweet and he's kind to animals. And did you see that beautiful flower?
No, there isn't any good. No, you're missing my point. It doesn't matter. Everybody's got good qualities. Look for good qualities in Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm sure he was a great guy to watch a movie with, but he might hack you to death later. But everybody's got like something, right? Or eat you. Everybody's got something nice, right? Every murder trial, there's a mother there crying, going, "My son's a really nice guy. You don't understand." You know, there's always something nice in everybody.
There's so many of them are handsome. Like
some of them are mad handsome. Yeah, because handsome and a nice person they're mutually exclusive, right?
Well, look at Armie Hammer. I don't know what the truth is behind that whole thing, but man, that's a good looking dude.
Yeah, he's a good look. He's got the deep voice. I love
he's got the deepest voice in the
whole
world. He's a giant guy, and he was dying to like rip that up and eat
people. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm always worried about. I don't know if we've discussed this already, but listen. Dirty talk, sexy talk, pillow talk should only remain in the room which it is spoken. When it gets taken out of context on a text or a video or it's just displayed all over the world, then it becomes something else. Guys and people say ridiculous things in the throes of passion. They say absurd things, embarrassing things that you'd be mortified.
You
But
just made a hard left, right? Yeah, just checking.
I did.
You
But
just moved it to a new subject. You're
no,
right. Like, yeah, you don't want to hear that.
Armie Hammer is now being accused of being a cannibal. So it wasn't that far. It was like a little detour. Armie Hammer is being accused of being like a serial. They even investigated him for murder.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was doing some time in the desert while he was trying to get his shit together, like a rehab, and just kind of get his head together. And 2 women's bodies had been found there, so they investigated him, but it wasn't true. He had nothing to do with it. This is a guy who said, "Oh, baby, I just want to eat that shit. I want to," like crazy stuff that people say. Now is his career over because of that? I mean, a lot of people defended him.
Probably canceled. Yeah.
I mean, the guy that he did that movie with is like, oh no, he's a great guy. And then a lot of women came out and said he's a great guy. And then a lot of people jumped on the he wanted to eat me train. But, a lot of guys want to eat you, I'm sure. Not literally, it's figurative. I mean, right? Isn't all of that shit figurative? When it's literal, then you are you're Hannibal Lecter. You actually do it. Like when the cops gave that little black guy that ran naked through the streets and told the Detroit police or the Milwaukee Police Department, this guy's trying to eat me. And they're like, listen, sweetie, we're going to take you back to your boyfriend's house.
They brought him back. And
they brought him back. And he killed him.
He escaped like Amanda Bynes, but instead, like bringing Amanda Bynes back into the house.
Right.
With Castro, whatever his name was.
Right. Yeah,
can you imagine?
Freaky people. How do you know you were watching a bad movie? I think Armie Hammer is a terrific actor. I've enjoyed. He did Rebecca, and I thought it was great, really good. And Rebecca is Laurence Olivier did that role.
I just watched that new Poirot film.
Yeah, so did I.
He's in that too with Gal Gadot and people like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking dashing, the guy cleans up really, really well, man. Sure. He wears a suit really well.
Yeah. I don't remember who did the murdering at the end of that. I think I got bored.
I didn't get to the end. I haven't watched the end.
Me neither.
I got bored because
the
directing the directing of those movies is really bizarre. I just watched Dune again the other night with Lydia.
I haven't seen it.
We turned off all the lights and turned the volume way up and put on Dune. Just because she hadn't seen it, and I was like, "You gotta," because Hans Zimmer got the Oscar for the soundtrack. Finally, he got an Oscar.
Is that his first?
I think it's one of his first. If it's not his first, it's
come on second. In, baby.
And he's deserved one for so long, and it's a monster soundtrack. I mean, the soundtrack is just
how is it as a film? I read all the Frank Herbert books when I was a kid, and I loved them. Yeah. And then that David Lynch thing came out, and I went, "What?" Yeah,
that was really kind of weird. I watched it one night by myself, and I'm not gonna lie, some drink helped. Just getting into the vibe, And I sent it to Lydia because she's a big Denis Villeneuve fan. Okay. And of course, it was premiered here at the Venice Film Festival, and she's invited to all of that shit because she's a member of the Young Students Film Federation or whatever it's called. And but she didn't get into that because the tickets were sold out immediately and so on. That was the big film. But I said to her, listen, don't expect a lot. It's slow. It's subtle. It's massive. I mean, the scale of that movie is kind
but isn't it
scary.
All green? It's all green screen, right? The whole film.
I mean, it surely must be, but like there are moments where you're like, oh my god, that's the most massive set I've ever seen, like beyond Star Wars level, way beyond. And the soundtrack adds to that and so on. In the end, we were watching, and she turns to me and she goes, "This isn't slow at all. There's lots happening." Maybe because I set her up for a slow movie, but she fucking adored it. And
she did.
It's a story of imperialism and taking over of land and so on, told from the the side of the royal family as they move in. It's a bit like the Queen.
Quinted Sadarak, who were born of Caladan, and will take the Gom Jabbar.
There it is. So they go in, they move in, they have to clean out all the indigenous people in their way.
Right, and the sandworms and all that
shit.
Yeah.
I have to say one of the most convincing performances was
Chalamet.
No. Chalamet is always great, but what's his name? Hispanic.
He's in the guy that's in everything with Adam Driver. He's also in everything.
No, he's Anton Chigurh in No Country for Old Men.
Oh,
he's with Cruz. What's her name? His name just fucking escaped me right now. Somebody help me out there. I mean, you know him.
Oscar Isaac?
No, Oscar Isaac. No,
he's in everything.
Call it. I can't help you. Just call it. You've been Javier Bardem. Thank you.
Javier Bardem. Oh,
so he's in it.
Yes.
He's Anton Chigurh, and have you seen No Country for Old Men? He's Anton Chigurh. He's like, you've got to call it. I can't help you. You have to call it.
That was the weird. He got an Oscar for that, right?
That's where somebody said Josh Brolin. He's also in it. Josh Brolin is also in the same movie. I think he's slightly badly cast in that movie. Not in
Dune. He's badly cast
in Dune. I think he's badly cast. He was really well cast in Sicario, and really well cast in No Country. But I think he's badly cast in this. Oscar Isaac is also in it. You mentioned some other actors.
Oscar Isaac is in every movie. Him and Adam Driver are in every film.
Everything. All of a sudden, they're just in every. That happens in Hollywood. I don't know why that happens. An actor is just all of a sudden blasted onto the scene, and they're in every fucking movie we see.
I don't know what's up with that. But I mean, both of them are very good at what they do. I mean, I watched that Gucci movie, like I said before, it was the worst piece of shit I've ever seen. It was horrific. Not any one person, just the movie was bad. Direction was bad. Everyone was bad. There was nothing good about it. It was just boring and stupid.
Was that the one where Colin Farrell was dressed in a suit, or was that a different one? It's or was that the Batman? I haven't seen the Batman yet.
The Batman is now
Colin Farrell is unrecognizable in some film. Maybe that's the Batman.
Colin Farrell is in the Batman. He plays the Penguin,
and he's unrecognizable.
Yeah, but in the Gucci movie, Jared Leto is unrecognizable because he plays a fat, eccentric uncle, and they have him in a fat suit. So it's the same difference. These actors Colin Farrell's a fine actor who's picked some very quirky projects. I mean, I think he deserves a lot more recognition than he gets. I mean, he's been terrific in a lot of movies. In Bruges, mega great.
And in the Woody Allen film as well.
Cassandra's Dream. Oh, it was great.
Yeah, one of the best
great
performances.
One? Absolutely great. Yeah. And then,
Marco Ferrante. Hey, Marco. Good to see you, man. And congratulations on your new job with Luxury Bazaar. He's working with Roman Sharf now.
Very nice.
And I'm impressed by the stuff, Marco, on Instagram. You there, showing watches and talking about stuff. Good man. Good for you. Unstoppable. I like that. I like that attitude. Bravo, Marco. Good seeing you.
The Batman is now available on HBO, by the way. It's available to stream now.
On HBO. I don't have HBO here.
I have it. You can take my login before they stop us from doing that.
I could take your login, but I can't download the app in this country.
Dana just texted me. Dana, why don't you just come on here so we could talk about it?
She's not ready.
What do you mean she's not ready?
She said earlier, she was like, you have to give me more warning, which is fair enough. I totally didn't give her any warning at all. I was like, hey, do you want to come on and talk about that guy in Queens who killed that woman?
Well, that's where the best shit comes out. The extemporaneous, spontaneous stuff is the best stuff. So,
In Bruges had a killer cast. It did. Brendan Gleeson.
I can't believe it was probably like almost 20 years ago. That movie. It was a long time ago. He was young.
Wasn't
he should have been a big In Bruges. I don't know. Let me see. In Bruges. Ever been to Bruges?
No, it's a beautiful looking town. I should probably go there for the channel. A lot of people get pissed off like that I'm not doing more of that travel stuff. 2008. Wow.
Yeah, it's 14 years ago. Brendan
You know what?
Gleeson.
Z-Man Benicio del Toro is in a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I rather that he's not in every single movie. You know, when he puts out a movie, I'm interested. He was in one recently. I think Soderbergh was behind it. It was called No Make No Move or something like. It was an
Oh, I didn't
interesting
see
movie.
that.
Yeah. He was excellent in it. Whenever he's in a movie, I'm interested in watching it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't believe Chalamet in films like The King because he looks so wimpy. I mean, he's
super fucking frail.
He's a tiny little twink, you know.
But isn't that more convincing? They don't need muscle on their body. Their power is
perfect
inherent.
actor. Yeah.
Yeah, but also they can be frail, like the real royal family.
Well, they're all inbred,
frail-looking, inbred people.
Yeah,
yeah. Their power is implied.
They have half a liver and missing
the
chambers.
men with the
in
muscle
their heart.
are standing around them, and they're no ones. But they're just like So that's a different interpretation of power, I think.
Yes, I mean, look at the royal family. There's not one of them that could win in a fist fight.
Yeah, but their power is implied.
Their power is implied. Yeah,
yeah,
that's very true.
So it's kind of nice that he's. I enjoyed that aspect, at least, that his buddy was what's that guy who dates Kravitz's ex-wife, fucking.
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa. He's the big fighter, but he's a pawn. He's just out there fighting on behalf of this royal frail object. You know,
right?
It was really a representation of that. Like, the guy's got the muscle, he's got to go out, but he's actually powerless. He gets ordered by frail, odd, creatures.
Well, like Gladiator.
I thought that was really interesting. Yeah, like Gladiator.
Like Gladiator.
Like Joaquin
Phoenix. These fey little fuckers.
The thumb down and the thumb up.
Get these big strapping fuckers to go wrestle.
By the way, it's a misinterpretation. I just learned that recently. Apparently, thumb down was kill him, and thumb up wasn't, but it was the other way around. Thumbs up was go ahead and kill him. Thumbs down was stop.
Oh.
It's a misinterpretation, yeah. I just learned that recently. Yeah, I
didn't know that. So I'm obviously out of the loop on this. So there's a movie called The King.
I don't know.
We're talking.
I know there's a Dune 2 that's going to come out, and it's got Florence Pugh. She's a force, man. That woman is a force. She's amazing. She can do anything, that woman. So she's going to be great in it. But I don't know about The King. No,
I don't know what The King is. Colin Farrell was great. The Gentleman was a great. He's hit or miss. Madonna's ex-husband. What's his face? What's his name?
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie. He's hit or miss. He's made some terrific films. My personal favorite is Rock and Rolla, which I love. Fucking that movie.
I thought you were going to say Lock, Stock.
No, I love Lock, Stock. I love Lock, Stock. I like Snatch. Sure. The Gentleman was a real return to form because he makes these movies with Jason Statham because they're mates, and Jason Statham, Jason Statham's a star, but he's not a big star. He's kind of like a B-list star. He hasn't made a great film, and Guy Ritchie keeps trying to make star turns for him, and it doesn't seem to work out. And then he goes back to what he does. And then he did those Sherlock Holmes films with Robert Downey Jr. He directed those.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Guy Ritchie. So he's also made like Aladdin live action for Disney. So he does some stuff. But
he's a cynical guy, that guy. Have you seen him in interviews?
Very well, he married Madonna. Could you imagine what
can you imagine doing that? That must be so weird.
I mean, I can imagine back in the day she was probably fascinating, maybe. But he probably is like, yeah, you're a bit of a fat wank, right? Who the fuck do you think you are? Queen? You ain't the queen. He probably told her exactly what day it was. And she probably's like, I want a divorce. She couldn't take a real man who wouldn't kiss her arse, you know?
Right.
He's probably like, you're not all that. What?
Yeah, he probably hit her with a little
Yeah.
bit too much reality.
This left one's a bit sloppy compared to the right one. You go get all these injections to look good. You're a bit of a sloppy tart, no?
Layer Cake was a great film.
Layer
Dana
Cake
is
was great.
saying those Insta pics of Madonna from recently are amazing.
Sure, she's
Are they the
sarcastic.
oh, she's like with her lips in the right up in the camera. Those ones or not?
They're the ones
Something
where
else.
she just looks like Mae West's abortion. That's what she looks like. And Madonna
You can
new
pull them up there.
photos. Yeah, I'm gonna go look for those. They're bad. I'm gonna do new. Listen, I have a soft spot for Madonna. I loved a lot of her music back in the day, and I thought she was really smart, was a marketer, and she's a big star. And now she's just a crazy bitch. So like I don't know how real any of this is, but we'll get to it, I guess. So share screen and
That disappeared, man.
what did?
Your share screen. It
Oh,
came
I'll
up
put it
for a second and then it
okay.
disappeared.
Yeah, because it wants me to. Here you go. Yeah.
Oh, that's recent. Okay. Different thing. She looks 18.
Well, she's had all this crazy work done, right?
It's not photoshopped.
Oh yeah. Well, sure, it's photoshopped. To the high heavens.
She looks 18 again, 21 again.
She
looks 21 right there. That's a 21, 22-year-old.
Yeah. But what she really looks like is that.
Oh, now you had it. No, you had one a second ago. There.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what she really looks like.
Yeah. She's trying to portray this Kim Kardashian kind of svelteness, but like I tried to watch the Madam X tour she did. Like, yeah, Tim Jack's Madonna Desperate to Be Relevant. Listen, she's been relevant for 30 years. That's as relevant as anyone's ever going to get, unless you're Nefertiti or some.
Yeah, are you never happy? Or like she was at the pinnacle of a complete fashion movement for a while.
She was.
Yeah.
Okay. Here you go. Look at that. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, she's an old woman now.
She's an older woman now. She's not able to.
Age is a beautiful thing.
And Guy Ritchie was like, you ain't Natalie Imbruglia, mate. Look at you. You're an old fucking, lady now.
Right. He just
she probably lost her mind.
She probably,
she's wearing
kicked
leather.
him out of the house.
She's doing all this stuff.
You know what? Aging. It was a Richard Gere who said, "Don't be upset about aging. It's a privilege denied to many. Age gracefully.
We'll never
many
see
don't ever get to age.
We'll never see.
Fucking age and let yourself age. I know that's easy for a guy with a little salt and pepper going on to say, whereas some women are like, yeah, well, now all I do in the morning is avoid the mirror because it's a predictable disappointment. As I grow older. I know that's hard, but you've got to see life differently. You've got to look beyond that.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't need to compete with her contemporaries were Kylie Minogue, and in the 80s she's not up there against Billie Eilish and all of these broads. They're girls. They're girls. And she could be their grandmother. She shouldn't try to be. She should be competing with Catherine Deneuve and women of a certain age. Maybe she should. I mean, she's a terrible actress, but I watched her direct. She directed this movie called WB about Wallace Simpson, who coerced the king into abdicating the throne. It was a beautifully directed film, sumptuous, great, beautifully directed. If you've never seen it, WE it's called. It was really good. She could do other stuff. Listen, you don't see Cher and all the other icons, putting their titties together and wearing assless chaps, and they're just not doing that anymore because they're old. leave that for the next generation. Because
By the way, guys, Elizabeth Grant got 61 subs in the past hour and a half. Come on, guys, give her more subs. Let's give her some encouragement. Elizabeth Grant's watch channel.
nice.
Swatch and Amiga Moonwatch is just awful. Everybody sub. You can unsub later if you want, if you really feel like it. Give her a little encouragement. Keep her going there. Sorry, before you were on, man, I was trying
No,
to...
no. That's good. I love that.
Not for any
'cause you're
particular
the only
reason.
watch channel
I've
that
never
does
met
that.
the girl in my life. I just
Watch
figured-
Gringa. I remember you were like, "Hey, check this girl out. I think she's got something." But I remember, well, she
Yeah.
had like 63 subs, and you were like, "I like her channel. She's so cute." And I'm like, "She's adorable." So I love that you challenge people
Give
to
them a
go
push.
check
Why
it out.
not?
I like it too.
I mean, if they don't step up to the plate, then that's on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think this girl is gonna, and she
Okay,
could
I'll
be
watch it. I
interesting.
don't know her. I'll watch it.
Elizabeth Grant, she just shat on the new Omega swatch. She made a very good
Yeah.
a few points about it. I thought they
Okay.
were, insightful.
I don't want one anymore.
Me neither. At first, I was like, I better get, certainly for the channel. But now I'm like, yeah, okay. Look, if one comes my way, I'll be like, all right.
You'll get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll be like, anything.
It'll
but
lie
vegan.
next to the remote control for a couple of weeks.
Right.
Yeah, it'll be there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Christy Brinkley has aged well. Christy Brinkley has the best plastic surgeon in the world because, I mean, there's no way she could look. She looks incredible, but you could tell that that's, Botoxy. What do you think about plastic surgery? If you felt like you need it, would you get it?
I think a small adjustment
Yeah.
like that. Charlie, what's her name? The big TikTok star, the biggest person on TikTok, little girl just dancing.
No.
Charlie D'Amelio. She, who is, by the way, one of the worst dancers on TikTok. It goes to show that like quality has nothing to do with it. There are amazing dancers on TikTok, incredible, change your life kind of shit. But she just caught on for some reason, whatever. And but she got a bit of a nose job thing. She fixed a slight thing in her nose.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, do it now while you're 18, 19,
Sure.
whatever the hell you are. Fine. I think it's about the same when it's that subtle. It's about the same as putting on makeup or, always cutting your hair in a certain way because it suits you. It's just a step farther than that. Of course, you have to go under the knife, so it's a bit more serious in that way. But I think plastic surgery when you're fighting aging, that's an issue. And
Sure.
plastic surgery when you hate yourself, when you're born a person that doesn't look anything like the people that you idolize and you want to look like someone else. These people who, they want their face to look like a famous actor and they get all sorts of fucking crazy shit. I think that's the problem. But I think if you've got like a little bit of something and you go, let me just tweak this for a second. Who you got? Oh, that's Christy Brinkley.
Christy
Is that her
Brinkley,
daughter?
It's her daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever is taking care of business there is doing a great job because she looks great. But, you can always tell with these fillers because they have these, like, everybody's got these chipmunk cheekbones now. Everyone. Look how pillowy they are. Even her daughter doesn't have those. That's fillers. That's Restylane, Juvederm. That's what all that stuff
You know
is.
the names of fillers.
I do.
Juvederm,
Juvederm. And it's for Christians, too. Juvederm, Restylane, Silk. But I'm pumped. Anybody can use it.
I like juvenile, Juvederm, Jovinetza.
It's for juvenile.
The juvenile in there.
It's the number one filler in the world, and Restylane Silk is a close second.
Restylane, let it rest.
Right.
Restylane, rest where you are. Yeah.
They go in there with a curette, and they go in there and they just pop like little, they pop little pockets, and then the anesthetist or whatever, not anesthetician will sort it all out. And I've watched like countless videos on how that all works. Because like I've got like a little bag under my eye. I'd like to get rid of that shit. I wouldn't mind getting rid of that.
What would it take? Just a little Restylane?
A Restylane silk. What they would do is they would go in and let me get rid of this one. They would go in and they would just pop, 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 pop. So then basically what they do is they fill this part in so it just levels itself out.
Oh,
And it's probably sleep deprivation and a lot of other things, but you know, it's also genetic. So I don't have any crow's feet or anything like that, and maybe some friendlies. But people, I would do that.
I've had crow's feet for like 1,000 years, man. But I kind of don't care. Like,
yeah, it's, you know, guys get away with it, but when you're a woman, you get judged. It's horrible what they do to women. It's terrifically horrible. I mean, with the women, it is such a completely different thing for them because they get judged so much more harshly. Guys, like, nobody pays attention. You know, the only problem I have with girls these days is nobody combs their hair. Fucking comb your hair. All these girls, all the hairstyles for girls now is just this sloppy, messy look.
Just out of bed look.
Watch a 60s movie or a 50s movie or the 70s movies. They set their hair. They look great when they wanted to go out. Like, nobody gives a shit anymore. That's my only I don't think anybody cares. I mean, they're not even combing their hair yet. They've got all these Botox and all this other stuff, and that's botulism. That's a crazy thing to do, you know. Yeah, and I think Patricia Arquette, she's had a lot of work done too. She's had a lot of work done. Madonna's had tons of stuff. Which one is Chrissy? These guys are cute. Which one is Chrissy? Which one? She looks amazing. She was married to Billy Joel, one of the ugliest guys in the world. Talent, yes. Ugly, yes. He's ugly.
Well, only talent interests a woman of taste.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes. Now, Lasheen and I have had this conversation before. Now, I have no horse in the race, so I just look at it from a beauty aspect. I have often said that I think Julie Christie is one of the most beautiful women ever. He thinks she's more of a handsome woman, which may be true.
Pull her up. Let's go.
Julie Christie. I got to get a good one now, because last one you were like, meh.
I think I remember the photo where I was like, she's a bit of a handsome lady rather than a pretty lady.
Yeah. Sure.
Share the screen so we can see what.
Yeah, I just don't want everybody to see me looking for it. I just think that's terrible.
That's part of it, though, man.
Oh, is that part of it?
That's why I'm saying it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Julie Christie. Then there's probably some more.
Tell me that's not a masculine-looking woman.
Do you think so?
Beautiful face, but that's a hard-looking. See the way her mouth is so straight.
Yeah.
That's a hard-looking woman.
This is
see the one on the right there. Okay.
Well, I got to pull that over.
Yeah, you got to pull it over and zoom in and figure it all out. That's not going to happen with Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, I didn't mean.
You have pinch and zoom or use command option.
That's a lovely shot.
Still getting a whole. Did you watch that film in the end? The Company You Keep.
I did.
Yeah, it's a good film, right? That's a hard-looking woman. She is very beautiful and quite stoic and statuesque, but that is not a girl. That's a woman. You get it? You get what I'm saying? How about that? I mean, sure, the blonde hair, and that's softer because she's younger. But I'm still seeing there's a huge gap between her upper lip and her nose. Right. Here I go with people will be thinking like this guy's the fucking worst ever. But I'm like looking at a lot of stuff that could be a very extremely handsome man as well. A feminine looking man. We're not far off a feminine looking man there. I don't know why I don't know why that comes up on your radar as a pretty girl.
No, it comes up as striking and beautiful. I think she's who do I think is the most beautiful woman of all time? I'd probably say maybe Vivian Leigh or Elizabeth Taylor in her day. She's beautiful.
Let's hear from the guys in the chat because they're mostly men.
Yeah.
Micheline Presley. Who's that? Micheline Presley. I don't know who that is.
Suzanne
George from Straw Dogs.
Oh God, this is a very handsome woman.
That's a very handsome woman. Yeah. Now you know my audience is between 30 and 70 years old. And they're pulling up names like that's amazing. It's a handsome, it's a strong looking woman. Big eyes, nice. Susan George from Straw
Susan
Dogs.
George was gorgeous.
Let's see her. I don't know
Susan
who that
George.
is.
You know who this is, though. It's Vivian Lee.
Yeah, Vivian Lee, sure.
I mean, she's fucking ridiculous, and she's married to a gay guy. A lot it worked for her. Susan George. Got a good image of her.
You want to get an older one?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
I mean, she kind of
again another strong-looking, masculine, handsome-looking woman.
Yeah.
Different kind of thing. Depends what your thing is. You know, that's some guy's thing. Absolutely. Who is Monica Bellucci? Of course. I mean, there's no question there. That is a doll. That's a walking doll. That's what that is.
What do you feel about Sophia Loren? You think she was beautiful in her day, or
in the Italian way, which is there's a lot of hard features.
Yeah.
Get Sophia in her heyday. Pull up Sophia images, and in her heyday, not as she aged, because that's unfair.
That's gonna be
so. There she is in her heyday on the left, and you didn't click on it, but then
I am clicking on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I blow it up. Yeah.
It's Italian. Yeah, it's Italian. It's very southern Italian beauty.
Yeah,
I have to say, the dimensions aren't quite correct.
No,
she has the chin, but a little bit.
Yeah,
but there's a lot in there that's not like for a Scandinavian. That looks all wrong right there. There's a lot in the Scandinavian face that's much more corrected than that. But she had a lot of pizzazz, and she had that like olive oil skin and stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
There were way better pictures earlier when you went past them, but whatever. Dr. Zhivago, who was the lead in Dr. Zhivago?
Julie Christie.
Julie Christie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Princess Grace was a beautiful girl. Grace Kelly was beautiful, but in a very kind of American way.
Raquel.
Yeah.
She shares the same birthday as me, 3rd of September.
Does she?
Yeah. I mean, what you mean there, Benzo?
Yeah. She was.
Dana's gonna freak out here.
Why is that?
That's, by the way, that's the famous poster of Raquel.
Yeah, that's the one from
God bless her. Yeah.
He's like, okay, Miss Fuzzy Britches, what do you see? Fuzzy Britches.
A woman, Sofia Vergara.
Yeah. Yeah. I always thought that, and I've told you that, she looks like a drag queen to me.
They're not hard features, though. They're girly features. If that was a man, he'd be doing a great job because he's pointing towards girly features in Sofia Vergara.
What about Deneuve? Did you like her?
Sure.
I watched that fabulous movie called The Umbrellas of Cherbourg, and it was a beautiful, beautiful film. Style. Yeah.
Juliette Binoche.
Oh, Juliette Binoche.
MTV, Mike. Yeah. Stunning creature.
Yeah. Well, who's your favorite? Who's your favorite of all time?
There's loads of them.
Well, it's loads of them. Well, I know you like the particular blonde little.
You know who came up recently? What's her name? Linda Hamilton, who played the original.
Sure, she's a hard broad.
Wonder Woman. What do you mean hard? Like physically, she's
Wonder
Woman.
No.
No, Linda Hamilton is Carter. Sorry, Carter. Thank you.
Oh,
Linda Hamilton is a hard look. Sorry, I'm not into her at all. Excuse me, completely wrong.
Linda
Carter. That's a walking doll. That's
Jesus
a walking
Christ.
doll. My
those
God.
liquid blue eyes and that
everything. The whole thing.
She's a cabaret singer. You can come to New York and see her play. She does like jazz standards.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's a jazz singer.
Wow.
You guys are making me rethink my sexuality.
Who said that?
That's so funny. A.K. Dave, A.K. David Fazio. That's funny. Yeah. Well, it's a funny thing.
Bo Derek, of course. Bo
Derek.
Thank
I mean,
you.
she was outrageous. That was that guy. He was, and her precursor was Linda Evans. Wasn't she a beautiful thing?
Sure.
Do you know who she is?
Yeah.
Yeah, Linda Evans. I mean, later on, she was Crystal.
Oh, there you go. The Zippo. Brigitte
Brigitte Bardot, yeah.
In her heyday though, like around 22 years old. That was crazy.
Yeah,
now she's a mess, obviously, but that's age and that's okay. Isn't it sad that it must be so sad? It's got to be tough. That many men age so well. They have their different. Like Sean Connery in his 20s was amazing. In his 30s, amazing. In his 50s, amazing. In his 70s, was amazing.
Yeah,
just different shapes of amazing.
Yeah.
So many actors have that. Whereas Brigitte Bardot, she had
Erin Gray,
8 years or 10 years in her. One of those sad things.
I had a big crush on Erin Gray when I was a kid. She was from Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Oh, yeah.
That was a big show here. Wilma Deering. I'll show you what she looked like. She was outrageous. You'd probably think so because she was kind of a doll. Where's there a sexy picture of? Oh, you got to watch it, right? Sorry. You guys like to watch the voyeurism.
Yeah,
of the looking for it.
Helen Mirren, yeah. She's a handsome woman again, a very handsome woman. Oh, look at that, Erin Gray. Yeah.
Erin Gray, she's beautiful, so sexy and cute.
Who we mention quite often, the girl. Yeah, don't go into Pinterest. Never use Pinterest for anything ever. Boycott Pinterest. It's a fucking shit show. Who we often mention, the girl from The Graduate. We love.
Oh my God, Catherine Ross. Oh my God. Okay, I take it all back. Maybe the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. Wow. I mean, just to look at, because I don't want to do anything with her.
Of course. You can look at her and compliment her and then hand her over to me, because I'll do something with her.
I mean, my God, in heaven's name.
And you pick the worst picture again. Go.
What are you talking? That's the worst picture?
Yeah, go back.
How about this one? I'm back on Pinterest.
You're back on Pinterest. I told you.
I didn't mean to.
No, don't. Okay. See, now go up to the top.
Yeah.
And go to the right. Not all the way to the right with her husband, but that one. There you go. No, the color one.
Yeah,
she is. There it is. So I'll spot that as a red-blooded male. I'll fucking spot that from miles away.
Sure.
God bless her.
Won't let me get any bigger than that.
She's so well. You just do Option Command Plus. But yeah, she's a stunner. Oh no, zooming in on the banner because you haven't canceled the banner. Boom, dude. Just buy a trackpad.
I had a trackpad. I gave it to you.
Do this.
I had one.
Do this shit from now. Anna de Mars. Oh, that you're right, man. Anna de Armas.
Yeah,
she was a new Bond. That was a beautiful creep. Isn't it wonderful? Young Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, Jennifer Connelly in Requiem for a Dream. I know that's a very disturbing movie, but what a stunning creature! My God, it must be so great for these directors to choose these amazing actors and actresses with these phenomenal faces.
It was a lot better back in the day when they could fuck them.
Yeah, they can't go near them. Yeah.
Now they can't. Now it's.
I wonder, is that going to affect the industry over time? Are we going to see a new effect?
Sure.
It's a very interesting question. We have to wrap up pretty soon anyway. It's a good discussion to go out on. Now that we have equality, or we're getting there, and now that a producer can't use his power or wield his power to get a girl in bed in order to cast her, hopefully that's the effect it's had. Maybe it hasn't had that effect, and maybe that's just news, but but let's assume that it has had that effect. Like, don't touch me and don't invite me to your hotel room. Send me the script and I'll read it from home. Okay. So now there's that equality happening. Thank God. I wonder, is it going to have a weird effect on the industry? Are we going to see now a ripple effect throughout the next 10, 15 years in cinema of women? Are we going to look back at 100 years or 200 years and look back at this period and say, okay, then there was a really ugly period because women were equal and they couldn't fight based on their looks and use their primitive advantage against men as if they were in the wild, in the savannah, It's like a philosophical thing when you think about it.
I think it's happened already.
Really?
Talent has outed the overt beauty. People, the more talented people, I think Hollywood is less attractive than it was. Like I was binging this show called Younger, only because I had a cold and I was on the couch for a week and I just felt crappy. So I started watching it. It's 8 seasons. I'm watching it and it's Hilary Duff and she's so cute, and this woman from Broadway who's not so cute, but apparently she's good at what she's a good actress. But she's the lead. And then there's like a whole plethora of ugly guys for love interests that keep coming on the show. I'm like, who cast these people? They're like, they're not sexy. They're not, not even to anybody. But I think that everybody's afraid to cast the next Brigitte Bardot. Grace Kelly couldn't act her way out of a paper bag. Let's face it. She was the town bicycle and everybody knew it. She fucked Daryl Zanuck and everybody else. She was a horrible actress. But Catherine Deneuve, a good actress. Brigitte Bardot, not a great actress. Raquel Welch, not a great actress. It was a different time. Now everybody's a little bit more, I think it's happened already. I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think it's happened. But anyway, and for guys, it's the same.
But not necessarily that it's a bad thing. If what we've come to know as the Hollywood standard was the product of sexual abuse and manipulation and wielding of power. Okay,
we didn't know that. We were all in it.
We didn't know that. All we knew.
Beautiful. Yay! I'm so happy she's on. I'm happy she's a Bond girl.
I don't know how many times I've been in a movie theater with a girlfriend, with a date, and so on, and they just want to stare at gorgeous men that can film so well, and they come out and they say, "Oh, he was so handsome." No problem. I'll say, "Yeah, he was so handsome." No problem. There's no issue there. I can't compete with that dude who was on the
Cary Grant. Those guys in those days. And the other thing was, back in those days, they didn't even need acting experience. They would put them through the school. The studios used to give them dance class, acting class, elocution class.
Like a development deal.
They gave them a development deal. Cary Grant is a guy named Archibald Leach from England who has very bad posture and, was a homosexual. But they turned him into the icon of all male icons. He became Cary Grant.
Nick Nicola said Brad Pitt is not a good actor. He became a good actor.
Yes, I think he's
he
a great
didn't start as one. He was a very beautiful creature, and he became a good actor. He got his chops. Here's a guy. Here's a guy, Johnny Depp. But yet, it is okay to beat Johnny. Okay. Sorry, I shouldn't have pulled that comment up as another discussion.
No.
Anyway, Johnny Depp, I never found to be a particularly great actor. I found him to be good looking, extremely good looking.
I think he's weird.
Easy to watch.
I don't think he's attractive at all.
Yeah, he's not your type, but clearly he's a very handsome guy. Hey, he's not my type either, dude. So you're preaching to the choir here.
No, but I understand like Robert Redford or Brad Pitt, or he's an unusual looking creature. Like I like Johnny Depp because I loved Edward Scissorhands, which I thought was a masterpiece.
Sure,
I love
the film.
Of a film, but he was so good in it. Winona Ryder was good in it.
He fit perfectly, and sometimes it's the role that you slide into.
Yeah.
But Johnny Depp will never be a Daniel Day-Lewis. He will never be a De Niro.
He's not that
ever.
No.
He just doesn't have that. You can. Here's my problem with Johnny Depp. You can see him acting. We talked about this, man.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
You can see him acting. You can see it.
Yeah. I feel that way about Sean Penn. I'm watching Sean Penn act all the time.
Yeah, constantly. You can see him acting, right?
I see him acting, and it's annoying.
Except Sean Penn acted. He was in a movie with De Niro. Come to think of it, where they're fugitives crossing the Canadian borderline. Jesus, I can't even think of the name. Confine. I can think of it in Italian. The border.
I never saw it.
It's called. They pose as two priests.
Oh, is it We're No Angels?
We're No Angels. Thank you so much.
That's a remake.
He's really good. It's a remake.
He's
really amazing.
That was a great movie. Aldo Ray was in the original movie. He was a big ride. Oh, yeah. Wow.
I'm just wondering, like, is this gonna? Are we heading into a interesting period? Because this can only have a ripple effect. You never see things happen. It's like idiots who think that the political situation right now is because of the president who's in power right now. No, the decisions that are made yesterday have a ripple effect over the years. So whoever takes the presidency today now has to grapple with the problems that were set up from the guy previous, or maybe two guys previous. It doesn't happen so fucking soon, so quick. Only certain things. You can push the button, you can call on the red phone and send the missiles. That's immediate. Or you can do certain, we're pulling out of the Paris Accord. That's immediate, right? But there are other things. Most things are economy things. They take time to, it's like taking an antidepressant. It takes like 6 to 8 weeks to kick in your fucking head or whatever. Like, these are things that take time. Or you start.
I'm still depressed.
I'm still depressed. It's 5 weeks later. I still want to kill myself. You start a diet and then you look in the mirror a day later. No, you got to give it 6 months. Jesus Christ. So everything in life, as far as I'm concerned, takes time to filter out and ripple effect out, right? So now we're in a period where men can't, or producers, sick fucking pervert producers can't say, you're the hottest, or you're the sexiest, or why don't you come up to my hotel room and let's talk about.
I have a role for you. I'm interested in a role. They can't do that anymore.
They can't.
I've got the perfect role for you anymore.
Yeah,
they can't.
Right. They can't fuck with that shit anymore. Is that going to have a ripple effect? Or
I think
are we heading into a period of 20, 30 years or something?
20 years of Hollywood ugly. Where's all the hot people?
We just wanted to fucking escape from our lives and go like eat popcorn and watch sexy people. My wife is average, I'm average, and we both want to look at people we'll never ever get a chance to fuck. Right. We'll just dream about it for 2 hours.
Isn't that what Hollywood is supposed to be? The dream of people we want to fuck?
Right.
It is that.
And then we'll go home and fuck each other and close our eyes and imagine it was the person we just saw on the silver screen. These are the ugly truths about life, but I
can't imagine you with your ex watching some beautiful girl on TV because she was so molto geloso. So she'd probably like, what, do you like her? You looking at her?
No, impossible. I could never say, but she could like gush all over dudes, and I'd be like, yeah, he's fucking cool. That's because I have confidence, self-confidence or whatever. But isn't that the thing? Like the regular people out there, the non-beautiful people, which is most of the world, get to stare at the beautiful people. This is why Brad Pitt exists and George Clooney exists and all the great actors. If we're really looking for great acting talent, just acting, they wouldn't necessarily.
No, that's why we have Penelope Wilton and why we have Olivia Colman. No one wants to fuck Olivia Colman.
No.
But you want to stare at her for.
Although now that she's like she's fucking cool. There's a lot of cool.
She's a genius. The woman.
She's a genius.
Genius.
I'd like to marry her.
But you want to fuck her, or Kate Middleton?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I mean, you know what I mean? Not to be crude, but I mean, she's a genius. It's like Helen Mirren was never a beautiful girl. She was a handsome woman.
Yes.
Even as Morgan Le Fay in Excalibur. That whole shit. She was handsome at best. Never a sexy kitten. No, she was never that. But she was sexy enough. You know, she had a great rack. She did. She always had a great rack. You know, she was playing opposite, you know, ugly people like what's his face? Donald Sutherland, who's a genius too, and he's ugly. He's not a good-looking guy.
No, but he's got that
But
charisma. He's got charisma.
something. Roger
You know,
Moore.
There's
Not
a thing
great
here
like
in
that.
Italy called affascinante. Have you ever heard that word?
I have not.
Affascinante. When a person is affascinante, usually is used for a man. He's
Yeah.
very affascinante. I like his. It's not saying he's handsome, but handsome is in there somewhere. It's like he's impressive.
Impressive.
You know,
Okay. Yeah.
he's
sure.
He's very affascinante, that man. A lot of women here say that because they mightn't be looking at a particularly perfect face or perfect jawline or nose, but he's got charisma and he's got style. When he walks into a room, he commands the room, and he dresses well, or there's something affascinante about that man. You know, of course, the Italians come up with the phrase because they're obsessed with that stuff. It's a thing that they have here, and a lot of beautiful younger women go for the affascinante man with the gray hair and the gray beard and the fucking Lamborghini outside, and the charisma, and he's able to tell a joke in front of many people and so on.
This guy is affascinante. This is Mariska Hargitay's husband, Peter Herman. He's 6'5" and he's chiseled out of a piece of granite.
Okay.
That guy is on this show younger. The guy is like, he walks into the room and you go, fuck that guy.
Okay, now if he walked over to you, what's his name?
Peter Herman.
Okay, now if I've never seen him before in my life, and I've never heard him. Now if he walked over and he went, "Hi, I'm Peter Herman," he would lose his affascinante.
Mr. Herman, Mr. P.W. Herman.
Hi, I'm Peter Herman.
You just made a Pee Wee Herman joke without realizing it.
Right. So affascinante has nothing to do with your height and how chiseled you are and how you look. Affascinante is a totally different thing. So in other words, everything I just said went
what you exude. What you exude.
It's what you exude. You may not be a handsome man at all, but you're affascinante.
Right. Your bank
affascinante is a different thing. Yeah.
Too.
Okay. Look at that British Bardot. Oh, you went past it.
I'm sorry.
Go back a page. No. All right.
I don't think that I can.
Never mind.
Yeah, I suck at that.
Ooh, I saw Bridget Bardot, like a classic Bridget Bardot moment.
Well, I'll get that for you now.
Oh, Jesus. I'll chew the paint off the walls.
Yeah, she was obscene. Which
okay, now stop. You don't pick. As a gay man, you're not allowed.
I won't pick shit.
I'm a red-blooded male who will tear this thing apart.
My blood is red.
Okay, different kind of red. Okay, so swipe down, like scroll down.
Yeah,
scroll down a bit. Okay, I found one. You see the bright one? It's amazing to me. Every straight male right now is looking at the exact same.
This thing?
No. You see, you look at the wrong one. Go up a level. Go up one, and then to the right, past the horrific. To the right, to
this.
Your other right. That. Boom. Hit that. Okay. Oh, God bless her.
Oh, God, fuck me.
That's the shit.
Oh, yeah. She's ridiculous. Yeah.
It's like a little doll, little French doll. Ugh.
Yeah. Of course, they had to crop the picture out.
Yeah. Okay.
Cézanne. I'll go back.
All right. Let's.
I mean, that's what she looks
I got
like,
a text from Archie. You want to go over to Archie? I might go over for 10 minutes or something.
No, I'm gonna feed my cat. You go there.
Okay, man. I'll go over there
and go. Triple. You guys talk about watches and things like that.
No, it'll just be Shane. What's happening?
You know, you're a cool guy, very cool guy. Shane, let me ask you a question. When you were with the birds, was it anal?
You never said birds. You always say birds. You never said birds.
What do they say?
I'll just get through the super chats here. Hot Rocks, Calavi, 179. Thanks, man.
When you massage a priest.
Chat, dude, I'm talking about. Oh, come on. What? Oh, God. Are we there? Really? Are we there? This is the iBashers. You're in the wrong room, man. We're talking about beautiful women. What on earth? Or maybe it's a woman who just takes offense to us talking about beautiful.
There's no girls here except for Dana.
Nah, Blondie is in here somewhere
Oh,
as well.
Blondie. Right. Okay.
Lots of aspiring actresses
Blondie
will
is
kill
here,
for
yeah.
the chance. That's true.
I enjoy her on Tim's channel. She's feisty and fun.
Yeah.
Blondie.
Yeah, definitely. John Dodolo, Ocean, good call. Point to Daniel Day-Lewis, extraordinary talent, unlike many others who
Yeah, he's
acquire
a genius.
on-screen jobs. Yeah, he is proper talent.
Proper.
Like his nose is still broken, by the way, from that boxing role he took. But it doesn't matter. And there's a man who's a fascinante, right?
Definitely.
Favorite Depp movie is Dead Man. Haven't seen that one.
Never saw it.
Yeah, let me get back through the super chats. It was a good iBashers, man. You were late, but you came in blazing, so you made up for it. So thank you. Ben said, "Bo Derek." You've been chiming in a lot, Ben. Thanks for all the super chats, man.
Everybody, I would fuck Bo Derek.
Right? Yeah.
You ever see that? You ever see Tommy Boy? That's a great movie.
Tommy Boy with the comedian, the big fat comedian.
Yeah, forgive me. Where him and he's got Dad owns the carburetor car company, and then Bo Derek and Rob Lowe are supposed to be mother and son, but they're really lovers.
You
ever see that film, Tommy Boy? It's a fucking hilarious movie.
I saw it many years ago. I can barely remember it. I remember Bo Derek in 10.
Well, sure. She's bopping on the beach with her cornrows. What she's doing is everybody.
Guys, do we have a deadline, or should he open bottle number 3? Kieran, I would say if you want to open bottle number 3, come over to Archie, and I'll go on to Archie. Our numbers are dwindling now. That's okay, but we've talked the shit out of this stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll go over to Archie for a little bit. Maybe Blondie is still here. Hey, Blondie.
Get a Blondie and take her over to the Archie show.
Proper, the coolest chicken.
I'll make a proper dinner for my cat, and I'll watch you guys on Archie. I'm sure it'll be hilarious.
It might be fun.
Yeah.
If it's a total mess, I'll just bow it. I'll go in and pay my respects.
Yeah, that sounds
the
good.
Archie respects, and then I'll bow out and hit the hay. All right, iBashers episode number 3 is in the can. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
everybody.
gang.
Thank you for the super chats from everybody. Again, this will not be on the Timeless Watch channel after this. It will only be on iBashers. Go over and subscribe if you feel like it.
Don't forget to click the like and the bell for notifications.
All that stuff. All right. I'll see you, Dirk, man.
See you, man. Have fun.
Bye-bye.